this episode, we are full spoilers up through episode 3.03.
Hey everyone, I'm glad to be back. I'm Jen, your keeper of the chronicles for the evening.
Hi, I'm Oliver's Ears, always listening.
G'day everybody, I'm WoToholic Aussie, just doing WoToholic stuff.
And I'm Bill, also known as Matt Stagger, and welcome to What the Adaptation, where we take things written in one medium, check them out in a completely different medium. In this case, we are doing Season 3 of The Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
Episodes 1 and 2.
Yes.
Warning, full spoilers. There may be book spoilers as well, so watch and listen at your own risk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Excited. Been
So
waiting
to
to
get
sink
started-
my teeth.
I know, me too. I'm kind of chomping at the bit for this one. Let's get
Me too.
everybody's overall impressions of episode 1 first.
Awesome.
Yeah, so much going on. Like boom, wow. Yeah, amazing. Over the top. Pure camp in its highest form, and I mean that as a positive. Very good. Very good.
Yeah,
From
what Jen said.
the start was explosive and the end was soul crushing. I really liked the end of the episode
Mhm.
was really dark, really scary, really
Mhm.
so it really worked.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
heading into dark territory, so
Mhm.
kind of makes sense. I enjoyed it overall. On rewatch, I'm like, okay, the pacing isn't quite as even as I thought it was, and that was just sheer book nerd excitement. I get to see Wheel of Time on TV. So
Yeah.
on a rewatch, I'm like, okay, it's breakneck in parts of it, but
Yes.
they don't really give it enough room to breathe, which they do in the next episode, which really
Mhm.
made me happy. They sort of slow everything down and let the characters develop. So I did alter my score a little bit for the first episode, but only on a rewatch. But before,
Mm.
let's just get into what happened in the episode, because I know we all want to talk about it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, start off with a big fight.
Big Bang.
Yeah, the shredding.
Mhm.
There's a in the books when Nynaeve is talking to Swan about the Black Arjar and everything like that. She says, I don't like Lindarian left probably because she heard you were coming.
Leander?
I don't know what would have happened if you had arrived and we had have confronted her in the hall.
Okay.
Now,
Pick
what
that
we
up.
saw was what happened
Mhm.
when that eventuality happened. So in a way, this is from the books, in a
Well,
way.
in the books, they do depart the tower. They do kill several Aes Sedai, and they steal the stuff.
Three, yeah.
So
Yeah.
this does happen. It just happens off page. Here, we get a big old fight about it, and let me tell you, there is a slaughter.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great. Like, well, not great that they're slaughtered, but great, like, the way that they did it. I
Yeah.
mean, they spared no mercy. I mean, you saw the one brown sister getting literally scissored in half. I mean, there were bodies flying. I mean, it was all out. So there's no way that Leandrin can hide. Like, for a little while there in the books, like, maybe people that weren't in the tower, sisters that weren't in the tower at the time, Leander could try to still slide by that she was an Aes Sedai. This book is like, no. She's coming out in the hall of the tower where everyone can see, everyone's going to be knowing about it. She has fully exposed herself now. So I like that. I like that.
I
I love
like
her
the
dress. It's half black and half red.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a nice little nod to the fact that she, normally she's been donned in only red. This is the 1st time we've seen her in a color other than red. We get the black and red. What's up?
Mhm.
Can I just say, and we got Chesmel Emery.
Yes.
Yep.
That's not how you say it.
I know
Is it?
that's
It's
how
not?
to say it. We haven't
No,
done.
It's
we haven't done
Chesmal
5
fucking
minutes yet.
Emery.
Thank
That's
you.
true. That's true. I was
did
like, wait, hold on.
I did like how Leandrin came out fighting. Actually confrontational.
Mhm.
She attacked the Amerlin right from the get-go, and I thought for the writing that was a really good way to approach it. Put put the onus on the Amerlin seat and let chips fall where they may. And I thought the fact that Swan was able to turn that around so deftly and introduce Nynaeve was just nicely done.
Yeah.
But I think Swan screwed up. The way she approached this was a bad decision. By
In what
keeping the
way?
Reds out, and closing it to the public, you've
Mm.
insulted the Red Oddjaw, and you've set a precedent that you only need 11 people to hold a meeting, which could come back to haunt you later.
Well,
So
that precedent was already there in the first place, and there were more than 11 in attendance.
I would like
they sort of cemented it, is
Yeah.
all I meant.
I would like to point out that most of what Lindarian alleged was actually true.
Oh, yeah.
Swan never said it wasn't. She immediately went to "You're a dark friend."
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
She never denied it.
Now, she didn't let him escape shit. Like, there's a whole heap of, you could bandy words about it.
Yeah.
But call a dark friend because you ostensibly tell the truth. I just found.
No, she's called a dark friend because Leandrin is a dark friend, and they have proof.
Yeah. No, I do get that. I just thought it was,
It was the
She
whole
didn't even
ice.
address it. She just went, "Okay, you said that. If that were true, these are the consequences I was faced. But I know you can lie. You're a dark friend."
Yeah.
She never said I didn't do that or say that.
So
Now-
what I get to see, what I love is the audience, as you say, gets to see the full Aes Sedai response to something where they can't necessarily lie, but they don't exactly address the truth either. And WoToholic, that was a perfect example of her sidestepping the issue of not even having to address what Leandrin accused, because she's just going to go, well, you're a dark friend, so, and then just
That's
like,
it.
just let it put her off.
Can you just imagine Swan admitting that she was bested by Lanfear? That would not go down well.
No.
I mean, frankly, I would submit to Lanfear in a minute, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't think you're the only one. Yeah,
she didn't notice.
She did. And a quick side note on Lanfear, I like her even better this season. I like her with the short hair versus the long. I didn't think I would, but she looks incredible. I loved her, and I love her entire presence on screen. It was great. But anyway, that's getting away from.
Okay.
That was a sidebar.
Did I miss
No, I mean,
something?
Lanfear looks great. We cannot argue this is not beautiful. Okay.
Yeah,
Lanfear
she's
is
gorgeous.
amazing.
Look at
Does
the
she
eye
always
makeup.
have short hair though?
No. Last season she only had short hair in Tel Iran Riyadh, and funnily enough, she decided to cut her hair after Egwene's hair got cut. Just saying.
Yeah, that was interesting. That's
Just
interesting.
Oh,
That
okay.
parallel. Yeah.
Coincidence?
Pickup, Bill. There's a great pickup. I've got a change that I'd like to mention. Land's ring. It is not the great big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
clunky thing.
It's a beautiful little, like, it's his mother's wedding ring. It's the ring of the Malteri queens. It's
I
far
thought
more
that-
dignified and
That's a
then-
nice change, though. I think
I think so too. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful work. Thank you for the picture, Bill. Beautiful work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way less clunky, and I like that.
Yeah.
and far more appropriate. And we didn't get him saying, show this ring to any warder or Malkiri and they'll get a message to me. Just so Nynaeve can quit something about men always never being there when you need them.
I'm sure we'll get it later.
Okay.
Which is what RJ does, but
Yeah.
he makes it. It doesn't matter. I just thought that was a good adaptation. Removed.
And it more cements their future, like, because in the book, Nynaeve's walking around going, well, I don't know what he meant by giving me his signet ring, but whatever he meant, I'm just going to do what I want with it. It alleviates some of that doubt that you don't get to hear in Nynaeve's mind about what that gesture meant. It solidifies, this is my mom's wedding ring. Dun, dun, like that's one. only
This
one
is a
meaning behind that.
proposal.
Yeah.
It's
We are a
proposal.
thing.
Yeah,
You and me.
definitely.
We are
You-
involved.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's not my letter jacket.
No, no, no. It's something more deep. Yeah.
Speaking of the shredding, the loss of Ivan was just heartrending. I did love to see the Waters in action. Granted, it's against sisters who are obviously tired and worn out because they were just in a huge battle. I think it would have been very different if all the Black Ajah were fresh. They probably would have nuked the Waters right off the
Oh,
bat.
yeah.
Yeah.
I watched this. I thought, wow. So, first of all, she blasts to disrupt them. Then she dodges a firebolt.
Mhm.
Then she starts whipping their legs out from under them. The
Mhm.
Waters come in and stab the downed Aes Sedai. They
Mhm.
knew what she was going to do to take 7 of them down. And there's a whole almost Western kind of vibe to the music as they
Yeah,
stand
yeah.
in the street.
Mhm.
It's got a
Yeah.
good, bad, and the ugly feel to it, where it's like,
And then just like what's his name? Is it Yvonne? No, Yvonne's Viren's water. James.
Mascom?
No, James in the books. James the old water with Van Dien and Adele
Oh.
and Lan both strike a Drakkar
Mhm.
through the swords. Yeah, death or they
Mhm.
Yeah.
about death. Anyway, I just thought there was a bit of a parallel to them both punching. their
Oh, I
guns.
see what you're saying.
And once again, I'm seeing things that kind of come from the books and are used in a different context and
I
things
like that.
And I'm
Yeah.
really
I see what
liking
you're,
it.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you pop that picture back up of Leandrin
Sure.
getting stabbed,
Mhm.
when this happened the first time I saw it, I went, "Wait, are they going to cut her out? Are one of the other ones going to take charge and such?" And the fact that they just did, for goodness sake, she goes through her second restoration in the course of an hour.
Mhm.
That poor girl has got to be tired.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you know who saved her?
Which one?
Chesma fucking Emery.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
Yeah,
why
I
she
do.
got the name.
Yeah.
we can
She's
just call her
saving
CFE if you want.
Yeah,
Well-
seriously, because that's what she's known as in the fandom.
Yeah.
That is her full
Oh, yeah.
name.
Well, she was yellow before she was black, so it makes the most sense.
Yeah. I love the fact that they were going absolutely for the decapitation, and
Mhm.
it just got stopped by those weaves of air.
Oh,
They
Mhm.
were
yeah.
this close to ending Leandrin.
Mhm.
Now,
So
were
close.
those Leandrin's weaves, or did it come from outside? Could you tell?
No, it was Jane's, the very beautiful green
Oh
water
my
whose
God, that
waters
girl.
died.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can fix her. I swear to God, I can fix
she's
her.
my land fear, honestly.
I can fix her.
She's beautiful. Yes, yes,
I know
gorgeous,
she's a dark friend, but I can fix her. I
smoking
swear.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
She got a little too excited when her orders died.
Oh my God.
Oh
dude,
my-
it was
yeah, she
so
did.
creepy.
Yeah, it was
You know,
really
I'm
creepy.
dying.
I can
It's
feel the
great.
dying. It's wonderful. Yeah, yeah, she did.
And it
great.
was nice because the Waters got a pretty rough time outside of the hall. They couldn't get in. They got blasted. Then the doors exploded outward. They got blasted again.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see Waters doing watery things.
Glenn knows.
I
Yeah.
saw her first. She's
Suddenly,
gorgeous.
these
The
two
record
Waters
ended.
are lethal weapons,
Oh, yeah.
which they hadn't been allowed to be in the tower.
Right.
And then we get Swan walking with two bodyguards who they just wrapped their heads in air and twisted their necks. And so that's actually something from later in the books too.
I don't know if they popped their necks because they were bleeding. when they hit the ground, blood splattered out. So I'm not
Well,
sure if they cut
maybe
their
just
throats
let them in
or what
and
it was.
yeah, I don't know. It was
Yeah.
quick.
We just
I-
see the
I thought it
flash
was
of the
a
weave
throat
and they
cut.
drop. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought too, because of the blood when they hit the ground.
And
So-
I haven't seen, like, I haven't slowed it down or anything. I've just watched the thing.
Yeah,
I've
I
got
haven't
way too
either.
much time on my hands.
Yeah, fair. But Swan fighting out of the shield.
Oh, that was nice.
That was
Yeah.
nice. That
That
was
was
great.
cool.
It showed her power, like, because Leandrin had like the blood coming out of her mouth and like all that. Leandrin was cooked literally until like that one thing where they blew it all apart. Swan was getting the advantage. I also love the fact that there's ambiguity about whether the keeper's staff like actually is some sort of like magical weapon, because it was like
No.
it was holding like the way Liana was like
No.
using it, like it could almost like stop channeling, like if she put it in front of a weave, or maybe that was a weave around it or something. I'm not exactly sure. There's ambiguity there, but I really enjoyed that, seeing her just thwack
think she
that
used it-
sister in the head.
I think she used it as a focus, kind of like Moraine did her staff in book 1. The staff we never see again.
Yeah.
I think it's a callback to the
The
Moraine.
Hussein, little
Yeah.
that Moraine uses to focus her little eavesdropping, her little
Mhm.
gossip eavesdropping little blue dot. Anyway, okay, go ahead.
I know Liana went totally Captain Caveman on that white sister's head, though.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
she
It was
certainly did.
brutal.
Yeah,
Just seeing her give the beat down.
yeah. Oof.
Have you
That's
seen
what-
her Instagram with pictures of her covered in blood, just standing there smiling?
Yes,
It's
yes.
great. I love
She
that.
was amazing. She did great.
That's what happens when you suppress your Damani in nature.
Mm.
Oh, so the inner Damani finally came out. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, something like that. So if they knew that they were doing that, they were either really confident because they didn't organize as in Swan didn't organize to link beforehand. But
Yeah.
really what we're seeing is raw power wins. Lindarian
Most
is
of the time,
stronger
yeah.
than Alana, so she beats Alana. Swan is stronger than Lindarian, so she beats.
You mean Leandrin? You keep
Yeah.
saying Lindarian. And I'm like, Leandrin?
Yeah.
No, I wanted to make sure we're talking about the same person, because there
Yeah.
are other
Great
L
flavor.
named
Yep.
Aes Sedai. So I'm like, wait, which one are we talking about? So I am checking just to make sure. It's like S names. They're all over the place. We got
Yeah.
other Aes Sedai
There's
with
so
L
many.
names. I'm like, wait, which
Yeah.
one is that?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
you're talking about Leandrin,
Yeah.
the red.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. No, now that I know that, cool.
So it's power that dominates.
oh yeah.
Samuels tries to stand up to Landfear in the cold open, that next episode. And she knows he's bluffing because he can't beat her.
What are you talking about?
It's a
He's talking
straight
about the
power
cold
dynamic.
open of 2 when Samuel tries to sort of front, or that's
Oh.
3. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
episode 3.
But
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah,
We need to
okay.
stay on 1 for now.
well, yeah, but they're all exercises of power.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that's been, I think
It
it's
takes
made
two
pretty
of
clear by
them
the
to
cold
shield-
open.
It takes 2 of them to shield Swan. They can't lock the shield in. She's fighting out of it,
Right.
and she just zaps them. And yeah, her power is so much greater than theirs individually.
For now.
Yeah. Now, I don't remember when it was brought up in the books, as far as, the power, and some have more, some have less, and who has more. They have not brought that up in the series yet, have they?
They
Not
have not
really.
discussed power scaling at all.
Okay.
Only to say that Egwene and Nynaeve and Elaine are
Really
powerful,
powerful.
Yeah.
but what
Right.
they're showing is how that power dynamic works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they've
Swan-
probably been doing it in the season 1 and season 2. I just wasn't looking for it as well.
Mhm.
Well, Swan does make the statement when she's sort of talking to Nynaeve and Elaine about becoming the Hounds. She does say you're both more than a match for Leandrin. So
Yeah.
individually, we know they are stronger than Leandrin.
Mm.
Right. And while all of this was going on, Varen was visiting the 13th
13th
depository.
Yeah.
Oh, the Easter eggs in that little good.
Oh, yeah. Now, first of all, did you like the way that she was able to, oh God, brain, open it up? You know,
Yeah.
weave it open?
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, it felt a little Room of Requirement, Harry Potter style.
yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I love the fact that it's a secret sort of entrance.
Mhm.
I love that. And once I step inside, I forget about all that. And I'm like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
We got the funny dice. We got the redstone door frame. You can see in the background with snakes and foxes on it. So, girl.
Mhm.
That's very
So, I mean,
important.
Now, I
so
did
many little
find-
book nods.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I did find it interesting that Naomi didn't or wasn't aware that the depository was there,
Mm.
or maybe that it existed, or if she did know that that was the way to get in there. But she seemed to be genuinely surprised from the expression on her face.
Yeah, she even said, I didn't think it existed. When,
Yes.
Oh,
when
okay.
Varen says the 13th depository, she said, I didn't even think it existed.
She one knows because she was getting stuff specifically on the orders of Lindarian, but we won't go into that. It's the Room of Requirements replacing the Great Hold of Tyr
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
T-
It's a collection of, like, it's not the 13th depository.
Glenn.
The
Bad
13th
Glenn.
depository is all the books. Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
there's a
no.
storeroom with the Terangriel and Angriel and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Mining things.
well, we knew that was
Fine,
already.
that's what you
Yeah,
do
we
in
knew
a-
that was in the basement, though, and the Black Aja, they stole it. So I don't know if it. I mean, now the redstone doorway, yes, that is definitely stone of tier stuff.
But a great holding of items of power is what the hold of tier is, and that's
Mhm.
effectively what the 13th depository was shown to be. There might be more. There might be the secret history of the Aes Sedai. After all, it just could have been off screen. But
Mm-hmm.
what I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying that they're combining those things together
Okay.
for the purposes of the show.
Okay.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
and people seem to be happy because and we got to see what they took, and we think there's a sleepweaver. We think there's half of look like a bracelet for like boom boom boom. We don't
Can
quite
you guys
know.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. My computer has completely frozen up. I can't see you guys or anything,
Mm.
Oh,
which is a problem because I'm the one who's actually live streaming.
and
So,
we seem to still be live streaming.
Yeah.
okay, I'm just going to keep it the way it is.
Yeah.
I won't be
You'll
able to
have
see
to
you
do it.
guys. I won't be
Yeah.
able to pull up any media, but
No, we need the media.
I know I wanted to, but I'll have to
We
end the
need to
stream and
go.
then restart it. So,
We can restart
Hey.
the stream.
They
okay.
look.
All right.
Run restarted last night, so we could do the same if necessary.
I
It's a
don't
bubble
think
of
they should
evil,
be our
not
standard.
Landfear. It's a bubble of evil.
Uh-oh. We'll get into that. We can restart if we need to.
Yeah, I'm going to try and end stream. So,
All right, you'll have to send out a new link for everybody too, and all.
It should be the same one. I should be able to just refresh
Oh.
it, hopefully.
Oh, okay.
So do you want us to leave the studio?
Well,
He'll
right
kick us
now
out.
it's not letting me in stream. So
All right, this is going to be the perpetual stream. It'll
So,
go forever.
we're just going to keep going.
Do you have
yeah,
your questions available? Like, are we still
I got
good for
nothing.
that?
No, I got
No,
nothing.
you don't. So we're just gonna wing it, like as far as questions and everything go.
Yep,
You know,
absolutely.
Why don't we just kind of step through the show as it occurred and just
Yeah. Yeah, I
attack
love it.
that way?
I
Because
love
Yeah.
I do have a summary in front of me, so I can at least guide us that far if necessary.
perfect.
I could kiss you, Oliver's ears.
That's great. Thanks,
All right.
Oliver's. Oliver's coming in clutch. He's clutching up for the
Seriously.
game.
Here we go. Just so long as I don't mash the clutch. The next thing would be we actually are. Well, are we done with the tower for the moment?
For the moment.
Okay. The next scene was basically where Moraine is there with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, says, "Hey, be careful.
Yeah.
This guy can
Right.
talk to that woman who's going to talk to the Red Aja." And I love the look on Matt's face when she brought that up. Like, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
And I guess she, at that time, is also trying to encourage everyone to leave for Tyr. That was what she was trying to achieve right off the bat.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I like how Rand gave her pushback right away, which is great. That's a very Rand and Moraine situationship. That's definitely them for a long time anyway.
Yeah. And I don't remember if it was this particular sequence or not, where Rand and Loyal had been looking at the prophecies, and then Moraine comes in to talk to him. Oh, no, that's episode 2. Never mind. Okay.
No, that is this episode actually.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
They
They
Yeah.
separated at the end of this. So
You're good, Oliver.
Yeah.
It was here. Yeah, it was this one.
Okay.
So Moraine tells them, mind your P's and Q's, like keep everything in line.
Mm-hmm.
Says, where are you going? She goes into the city, which is what she told them not to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? As in,
Mhm.
do what I say, not what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. And then Matt goes, well, I've been on a boat for a month, which is nice because it tells us how long it took them to get there without saying 1 month later on
Yeah.
the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a win. And
I'm back.
then,
Hey.
hey, oh, we missed you for a moment. So then you've got they go out and do all their stuff with Matt showing off with the horn.
Mm-hmm. Which
Bill? Do you have the shot of the snakes and ladders board?
Oh, I do indeed, sir. Give me one
Oh,
moment and I
lovely.
shall pull it up for you.
Because what they are playing in this, I don't know, outdoory pubby thing in Tarvalon is snakes and foxes. Woohoo!
I just
Snakes
love
and
this.
foxes.
Yep.
There's a nod for the
Look, people.
purists out there.
Yeah.
Nice little bit of in-world building. Looks like the type of board that you carry around in your pocket with you, so that fits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Little homemade
thought-
pieces.
that
Yeah.
was great. The entire thing about Matt Rand and Perrin. I think he calls him a sheep shagger.
A sheep shagger. Yep.
He
Yep,
does.
a sheep shagger and a something blacksmith. Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
I just thought it was a really Matt kind of
Yeah.
moment, and
Mhm.
really well done.
Mm-hmm.
And then they jibe him about never kissing a girl except Egwene, and
Yeah.
they work out he says the
Not
innkeeper,
true.
Celine.
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh, Celine." He goes, "Time for
Celine.
another round." And we
Yeah.
cut to Celine walking through the marketplace.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now the
Right,
boys,
That's
the boys
an
talk.
RJ thing where you go from someone mentioning someone to the
Mhm.
next point of view being that person.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is an RJ thing that he does all through the books, and
Mhm.
they do it in the show. And if you want to talk about clever adapting, yeah, I just think that's the type of shit I'm here for.
Okay. I agree. Yeah.
I love that she just revealed herself to Moraine and Land. Like, here I am, bitches.
There was so much sexual tension, like
Seriously.
an ungodly amount. Genuinely, that's all that was between Moraine and Lanfear. I'm like, why is this? I'm not mad about it, but there was a lot of
Me
sexual tension between that. I mean, because they were like right here in each other's. I was like,
They were.
and she was like looking
Now,
at her eyes. I'm like, all right, cool girls. That's all right. That's
so
all right.
what did you think of Moraine and Land looking down and seeing her down on the street? And
Mhm.
Moraine puts her hood up, turns around, and there she is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we obviously didn't see the weave. It's a particular weave I don't think we can talk about quite yet, but I thought that was really nice.
I thought it was too.
I don't think that's what was used. Given the use we see in episode 3, I think she's using something else. And I think it's something solely within her domain, if you understand what I mean, without
Okay.
giving anything away.
Oh, okay. I
think-
understand
All
what
right.
you mean.
That's
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
interesting.
she's using something from that sort of area to get
Uh,
there that quick because there was no noise, there was no hand movement, nothing. And I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
that is different than they do in episode
Mm.
3 where we see them actually do it.
Yeah. And there's a point, there's also a point in the books where they intentionally try to not expose certain weaves to other Aes Sedai
Mm,
because they don't want the Aes Sedai to pick up on the fact that
Correct.
they even exist.
Yes. Yes.
sneaky Aes Sedai shenanigans as usual.
Yeah. Like that.
And, they learn tricks so their weaves can't even be seen. That's a whole other thing, which Noman Garden has pointed out. Think you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
there is. Veridimus. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
That doesn't quite allow her to jump 20 feet.
No, but I think she's using a different source. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I
think she's
see
using
where
a
you're going.
She's using a different source to travel, at least partial short distances. She's using a different source altogether.
Okay. You really want to go there, do you?
I think she is because we saw what it looks like in episode 3 when they use what we know, and it didn't look anything like that when she appeared. Now, did it? There was nothing. No
Now-
warping behind her, around her, nothing.
A quick question of what you're talking about in episode 3. Do you
Yeah.
think they were in the real world at that point?
Yes,
Do you?
Okay. All
I
right.
do.
Okay. Because I
Not-
didn't.
Not Teller and Riyadh. Okay, all right. I thought it was Teller and Riyadh. Okay.
Oh, that's what
I
I
thought
thought.
it was Tar because in the books it's in Tar.
Yeah.
I don't because I don't think any of them are dumb enough to come where Lanfear is strongest.
What?
Both of them are weaker than her. They're not going to go in her realm.
Now, this is an interesting thing because from Tinker Baby, the Cold Open season 2, we get
Do
an
we want to go there yet?
implication that Ishmael is the creator of the Trollocs, not Agenor.
What?
Huh?
They don't say that.
No.
They
I
don't
didn't
say
pick
that.
that up.
I
No.
didn't pick that up.
No,
No.
they don't say that.
They don't say it. I didn't say they said it. I said that we get the implication
Hmm.
that Ishmael created the Trollocs. It's there. It doesn't matter. In the we learn that Morgedian creates the Grey
The Gray
Man.
Man.
Yeah.
So speculating on other creations, if each Forsaken had a province or a realm, Lanfear's would be the dream.
Right. And I don't think that the other two would come in there. They're already at a power disadvantage, which is why I think they wanted to meet in the real world. That's why they were in a hidden basement. And, that's why they had to physically get in there the way they did. It's a blocked off part of the tower that nobody knows about except for people who are around 3,000 years ago.
Well, I would think that if she had called a parlay, that everyone would show up knowing that they're initially safe, at least. I mean,
know. sometimes not. So it's 50-50 with the chosen, whether or not they're going to kill each other first. It is completely 50-50 up in the air. I mean, you get people like Cimarron, where if the mood strikes her, she's going to kill every one of them all at once and enjoy it.
Okay. Well, we've gotten away from episode 1.
We have.
So there are other things that happen during this time. We've got Elaine being frisky.
Love that.
I am completely on board with that.
Me too.
It was subtext there anyway.
In the books, people were like, no, it's the sisterly relationship. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, yes, I can see the sisterly relationship.
Just like Jane and Chiads.
I can also see more than a sisterly relationship. I can see both.
There are moments, yeah.
So I'm like, it's okay. So here's what I'm seeing. Here's what I'm seeing that they're trying to do with the show. They're trying to make a 1-on-1 pairing. We already see Egwene is going to be with Rand, at least for the foreseeable future. And there's without any spoilers, I'm not going to say that there's no other people involved in that. So far, it's just Egwene and Rand with a little bit of land fear. Okay, who's whatever. And so they're pairing that up. They seem to be pairing Matt and Min up, in my opinion, in the way that these things are going. I don't agree with that at all. However,
I will not be on board with that. I'm telling you right now.
Across that way that Min and Matt are going to be paired up. You've got Nynaeve and Lan paired up. You've got Moraine and Swan paired up. They did drop a Gareth Bryan mention. So maybe we'll see him later, but right now it's Swan, and I don't know where Tom is, but it's Swan and Moraine, and
Tom's in Chico, I think.
And it's Elaine and Avienda. So you see 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So I think that's kind of what they're trying to go with for the show audience versus, without spoiling, one person and 3 others. So I think they're trying to bite that down to where people that aren't book lovers and people that are watching the show for a lot of like feminist reasons don't have that going on. So I feel that was a choice.
I don't think any feminist that read about Rand and his 3 women would realize that Rand never had
I know
women at the same time, and
they're trying to put that into an 8-episode season and convey that correctly would probably be pretty rushed and hard to convince those people of that. Versus
not in 15 books.
Yeah,
so,
Rafe has said that whole issue with the multiple women with the man, that instead of doing bigamy, they were going to go into more polyamory, which is, I think, what this is a first step into. They have more agency. They have more agency with each other when the main character they're supposed to be focused on isn't there. And that's what Rafe wanted to talk about and show and explore. So I'm not mad about it at all. He told us this was coming by saying, I'm going to explore polyamory more than bigamy.
But question for you, do we know, you're right, but do we know if he meant that directly towards the one person in the 3, or whether that's being represented in the Alana Warder relationship, or maybe later in the Aiel relationships? Do we know?
He was specifically talking about the 3-in-1.
Okay.
He was
that was my
specifically
question.
talking about the 3-in-1.
Okay.
That he wanted to explore it as polyamory more than bigamy, because in the books it is kind of bigamy. That's all it is.
I didn't know if the polyamory was being covered in the Alana thing, but that answered my question. Okay.
Yes, both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he was specifically speaking of that particular relationship. So I think this is just the first step in that direction. I wasn't surprised, and I was not upset.
Neither was I.
I'm not.
Me neither. I don't know. I haven't spoken to or heard of, now granted, I'm just one person, so I'm sure it's probably out there, anyone that seems overly upset, but I could be proven wrong by my fellow compatriots here. I wasn't upset about it. It's like, okay, this makes sense. Now, was it a little bit sudden? Yeah. Did it make sense? Yeah.
Okay, Noman Garden, you win. You win chat tonight, Noman Garden. I love that.
It was a little quick. It was a little quick, but it was okay. I was
That's
like,
what she said.
Well, it seems to me it was a little quick for us.
Yeah.
But the interaction they had, I think it was like there was a simmer going on, and it finally came to a boil.
They were on a boat together for a month. So
I think spot on. And she knew where she slept. She said, "You've been watching me," and got her to carry the apples, and there was, and when she kissed her, and she said, "Finally."
I like that.
That it had been building before, kind of that, like it wasn't just a slam bam. Yeah, it was feelings, and Abby's feelings for Rand are very, at the moment,
They're very angry.
But that's in check with where she is in the books.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. She's a little angry. She's not happy.
Messes her up on that score. So, like, I loved her answer to him. "You're not the Caracan yet, mate." I just love that.
Well, I got news for him. It doesn't change much when you are Caracan. You're still going to get basic blank stares and be like, "You don't order me around."
Yeah.
I do like Bane and Chiad.
Yes.
The two of them.
Oh man, Bane, Chiad, and Matt together. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, the Maiden's Kiss routine was fun. And the little bit of aftermath that we got from it, a little wink, I thought was grand.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember in the books, Matt brags that he did all right.
My thing with Bane's Kiss, I'll save till next week when we discuss episode 3. That was my favorite Maiden's Kiss situation, but I will wait till we get to that next week.
Fair enough.
Wait. I just got to know. Is it because it's Loyal? Because please tell me it's the Loyal part.
No, it's actually Maxim.
Okay.
Right.
That was great.
Up when they were trying to talk Loyal into it, I'm like, okay.
No, that was funny, but like, I like his response. I really like that. But anyway, go ahead.
And viewed through the context of him grieving the loss of his boyfriend. Embrace death indeed. But
yeah.
I don't think Matt was very good at it. I mean, look at his neck.
Either.
Hey, he didn't lose too much blood.
That's true. That could just be running, a couple of points that are running, yeah. I'm hoping.
He got a wink.
Yep.
That's true. He did get a wink.
So I'm noticing a pattern with Matt in these first 3 episodes, but I'll even focus on the first 2 because it fits. They are changing Matt because in the books, he didn't have too much of a problem with girls. He was okay. He did okay with Maiden's Kiss. He was all right with the novices. I mean, they did show that one thing, but they're showing him as listening to other people and not having so much action himself. And he seems to be fumbling around a lot more than the Matt in the books.
Well,
so
yeah,
I'm
'cause
curious.
Brand knows more about girls.
Yes, they all three do that, but Perrin, yes, but it just seems like Matt seems more clumsy in that regard than he came across in the book. So I'm interested to see if he's going to have a shift, and maybe that'll happen after something that happens in episode 3 that I'll love to talk about with you guys later. But maybe we'll see him becoming more into his own as he goes on, and I would love that journey. I would love to be there through that journey for him, because I hope they're not putting Matt as comedic relief. I really, really hope that he's not going to stay the comedic relief of the trio and just like the goofy blunderer that just happens to also know about battles, because that would suck. So I'm hoping we'll see that character arc.
So
Yeah, I think
Jess
we will.
and like, I'm a big Matt fan.
Mhm.
And I'm going to say something that'll sound rude as well, but
You're fine.
I think they're showing Matt's true character. Matt had a novice in his quarters. Sure, she held his horn. That's the real part.
Nicely put.
He actually did.
But she was on the opposite
hands.
sofa, and right, because Matt would not take unfair advantage of a novice.
Right.
Of course not.
Gawain and Galahad, not so scrupulous.
Okay.
Anyway, I like.
We're jumping into episode 2 there again.
Yeah, we're still on 1.
Okay, just to take things slightly out of order, do we want to keep focusing on the inn and the kids, or do you want to jump over to Swan talking to the girls and then Egwene having her test?
I think definitely Swan coming in. You get that sort of tonal shift right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then we can come back to the pub and finish things off because there's
Yeah.
adventures there.
Mhm.
I was just going to say, in that pub scene before Swan comes in, there's a exposition dump that 4 or 5 different characters do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wayne explains what Kalendor is. They're reading the prophecies of the dragon. It's Loyal speaks, Rand speaks, Egwene speaks. Right? I think so instead of having one person do a monologue, they broke it up into 5 people.
Yeah, they turn it into a conversation or several conversations. Yeah.
Yeah.
They discussed Kalendor and prophecies and kind of went over a couple of different things.
What was going on in a really neat way, really quickly, and that was a good adaptation of get that. Yeah.
And I think this goes back to what Bill said right at the beginning, as far as the pacing goes. You had mentioned that it seemed like it wasn't, they were trying to do too much at one point. I think that's what Ben's just talking about, is that there was a lot of exposition all of a sudden in a very short period of time, covering a number of subjects. But the info needed to get out, and I don't know how better, I can't think of a better way to do it.
It's a good way.
I can't either. Like I said, when I first watched it, I scored it higher than I score it now. But like I said, on a rewatch, the pacing was a little uneven because it's so breakneck at first. And then we sort of get into this exposition area where we're doing prophecies and we have this stuff. And then we'll get, a little bit of action, a whole lot of action, and then, end of the episode. So it's a little up and down. It's not bad by any means. I absolutely love this episode. One of my favorites out of the entire series. It's just the pacing is a little uneven in the first episode.
Yeah.
I think it's better in the second episode personally. But yeah, that was the point I was trying to make. But yeah, you're right. There was a huge exposition dump where they did discuss everything from literally reading the prophecies of the dragon, trying to figure out who the people of the dragon are. We got that. We got Kalendor,
which is what
what a Sangreal is, goes in there. We got everything. We got Egwene sitting down just with the girls, trying to explain her PTSD and how when Rand touches her, all she sees is Renna, which is just fucking heartbreaking. It's so sad.
And we
then
end all of that with Swan showing up,
Yeah.
Elaine walking away meekly, knowing her fate. Her fate is written in stone at this point. We know that.
And she's going to have to scrub it. Yeah.
Yeah. But she has one more evening or one more day. Now, that's one thing that isn't clear. What time of day are we talking here and so on? But
Yes.
Swan talks to Nin and Egwene.
Yeah.
And I could not believe the huevos that Egwene has basically saying, I'll go back, but I do my test immediately.
I like that.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. They did not
I
like
like it.
Swan sort of getting run over by Egwene in that situation, but I think it fits with the story they're telling on TV. That
I think-
Egwene would be angry at what she did to Rand.
I think that they are doing a lot of things different with Swan to tell the arc of the story. Swan is, I agree with that. Well, my partner's favorite person, I think I already said this in the entire book series, is Swan. I've mentioned this in previous episodes. So we actually do talk about Swan a lot. His favorite character in the Wheel of Time is Swan. So he really is mad about, I don't want to say, but anyway, in the book, so it's not either here or there. So that I don't like as far as character Swan. Pause. Next sentence. I do like it because I'm trying not to say a spoiler. I do like it because of Egwene's arc. They're trying to show some interaction between Swan and Egwene because they want the reader to think about, or the watcher, excuse me, rather, I apologize, to remember little things like that for future reference. I think they're trying to paint a broader arc. So Swan suffers, I agree with you, greatly in this scene, but that her character suffered a detriment here in order to paint a brighter arc, in my opinion. I don't know if I agree with the choice, but I think that's why they made that, in my opinion.
I would just like to point out that if power matters, Egwene trumps the Emerald in that moment. Swan, Moraine, and Elida were the three most powerful before Elaine, right? If it's sheer power and deference to power, which is canonical.
You're right, but they don't discuss that in the show, so that's confusing for a show viewer.
I made the point earlier that they're showing it.
Yeah.
They're not discussing it.
Right.
But they're showing it.
There was one discussion, and I forget who it was, who basically said, you may be stronger, but she knows what she's doing. That was in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget who the two people were, but they made it a point. Experience takes it over power.
But this wasn't a battle of wills. This was just a recognition of your power ranking. I think is valid. I do like your point that it's setting up later on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Swan, unfortunately, I agree with y'all that I agree with people that don't like it because it is a detriment to, I think, Swan's character at the time and place that they're in currently. It doesn't seem out of in Swan, but I think it's for story reasons they did that. So,
and if you think about it, this is like the third big hit that Swan has taken. The first one is from Lanfear. The second one happened either earlier in the day or whatever, the day before with Leandrin. And now you've got Egwene basically contesting Swan. So it's interesting that Swan's gone through an awful lot in a very short period of time here.
Yes.
I think it's to show that she is slowly losing absolute power and control in the tower.
Yeah.
It's slipping by degrees, and we see a little bit more each incident. And I think this one just knocked her off kilter, and that's why Egwene got away with it. But it does go towards developing Egwene later. I think you're right, Jen. On
when
that.
when they first come back from farm in the books, they're with Varen, they're not with Moraine, yada yada.
Mhm.
But Elaine and Egwene are both raised almost immediately.
Yes.
They also needed a context to raise Egwene. And instead of making it some arbitrary thing, they gave Egwene the power to enable that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're just matching up the plot, because otherwise she couldn't leave the city and go and so yeah. I think they did it for reasons, and people that don't understand don't maybe understand that sometimes, even though you know the person's wrong, you say, okay, because you know you'll be right in the long run.
Okay.
So you don't always need to be confrontational and bullying. So I think Swan was exercising soft power there and got exactly what she wanted.
Yeah.
Speaking of her test,
have a go.
Let's go into Egwene's test. The one thing we do see, absolutely, is them finding Rand mad, just absolutely insane.
So this is a test where you get once for what was, once for what is, and once for what will be.
Right.
What might be, yeah.
What might be, yeah. So
and I think that's what this one was.
So
because we got hippie Rand here covered in blood, and we find out it's Matt and Perrin's blood. He's killed them in this mirror world or arch world, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, there was a lot of red in the river, and Nynaeve even said, I saw him kill Perrin and Matt, but he must have dumped the bodies upstream because the blood keeps coming by.
Yeah, you see it sort of go by, then it'll clear. You'll see a flash of it again. So I think you're right. There are bodies dumped there. And I think that is later alluded to exactly by Moraine when she's talking to Rand, trying to convince him to go to Tyr. When she's like, where do you want to go? He's like, I want to go home. And she's like, well, what are you going to do when you go home and the bodies of your friends and family are floating in the river bleeding?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was a direct sort of through line to that conversation.
I didn't pick up on the parallel there. That's good.
Here's another parallel that I just realized. I didn't pick up that it was Matt and Perrin's blood, but now that you say that, I'm thinking they did the whole beginning of the two rivers, there being the river there, and that's where they throw the woman off in the test, and that they even show like this is the power of the one river, and it's clean when she jumps into it. But Rand with his taint, the blood is tainting the water, and they even talk about. I know in the books they say that the women how they do Sidar is a river and men is not, but he's showing the blood and literally tainting the two rivers. Like it could be an analogy to like I'm tainting like my homeland. I'm putting the blood in the water of the source. Like that's kind of an interesting parallel. I thought that would be potentially there as well, but anyway, yeah.
So I've got a note here where Moraine says to Rand, "You are the dragon reborn, and there is no homecoming. Not now, not ever." And and he says, "You don't tell me what to do anymore."
Yeah,
yeah, that's the conversation where she mentions.
And then it's a cut scene to Egwene getting her ring. From Suan, and basically saying, "You don't tell me what to do anymore."
For me,
I like
that's a good parallel.
RJ works in parallels with story arcs, and Rand and Egwene.
That's interesting.
Parallel through all the fucking books.
I like that.
Yeah,
beautiful moment of symmetry like I say, I think they're getting the RJ connections things. Once again, a great adaptation of what we know from the books.
Mhm.
I miss that. Good catch, Ben. I miss that.
that's great.
That's great.
What I wanted to talk about was her armor. The chest piece almost looks like an ADOM, but notice how it's split and away from her neck, like she's breaking out of it.
Oh,
It's not touching her neck, but it does look like an ADOM a little bit.
That's
So
incredible.
Yeah,
I
it
made
looked like
that
it's
sort of
blasted
connection.
away from her neck.
Yeah, like she took the power and blasted it away from her neck, and I just love that little detail.
Oh my
Call back to the fact that
god.
she doesn't like anything on her neck after she leaves the Shan-Chans, even in the book. She doesn't like cloth that's too tight around her neck. She doesn't like anything around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that is a nice little nod, and I've loved that touch. They're
Interesting.
paying attention. Yeah, they're paying attention to the little things and leaving breadcrumbs for us. And, you know, it's very RJ, like Ben said, and I love that. It's making me excited. Every episode, I'm looking for more and more little details that I can jump on. So,
You know, I would like to think that the people who hand out awards would have enough knowledge about the show, or about, you know, the character, I should say, in this particular case, to understand the significance of that costume when it comes to considering costuming for you know, for the Emmys or whatever it may be.
That would be
Karen
great.
Gilliam is killing it. She's absolutely killing it every season. She has come through nonstop.
And they
Okay.
use that for 5 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
But the details, man, the details.
Yeah. So how many thousands of dollars went in there for a few minutes screen time? You know, it's just astounding.
Nynaeve and Elaine looked fantastic as well.
Yes.
Indeed.
Nynaeve looked distinctly different, and yet the same. Like I just thought, really well done.
This bothered me. Why does Nynaeve not have her hair in a braid?
Yeah.
In that scene?
When?
During that scene.
In that scene. Her hair's down, it's loose.
Yeah, her hair is out like an astronaut in orbit.
It's not real, man. That's why.
But I thought
it's an arch world. It's an arch world.
It may not be real, but that's Nynaeve that I would think Egwene would have in her head, though.
Yeah.
Even if she went into the dream.
That's a traditional haircut of a Valkyrie queen.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it could be for all.
Okay, there you go.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, well,
because I'm like, maybe Egwene, in Egwene's head, she sees Nynaeve evolving past her wisdom self, so that's why she envisioned her with different hair. I mean, that's the only thing I got, but I could see that because it's sort of taking it from her mind and her fears. So
now I have a question about the very end of the test. Why did Egwene have so much blood on her?
They absolutely murked Rand, and it was ugly.
No, okay, yep, possibly. So I think that was after all 3 tests. We only got to see the 3rd test. I assume the first test was Renna.
Probably.
And she's got those from the earlier tests.
Okay, I can see that. All right. I like that.
I like Bill's thing as well. They just
there's the entrance.
Integrated Rand, and that's all Rand's guts splattered over her.
I honestly, because she says brace yourself, sisters, when he's walking towards them, and then she comes out and she is just covered in blood.
Yeah, front and back.
Yes. I did love that he just said bow.
Oh, he was just out of his mind, and I loved that.
Yeah, and it made it seem as if it wasn't the first time that he's demanded that.
Yeah. It seems like he had been repeating it
repeatedly. Yeah.
You've come to do what you should have done ages ago. Bow to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Which
So-
was just creepy.
After the test, she obviously returns to the inn where everybody has a very restful evening.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody naps and everything is great. Or all hell breaks loose, whatever you want to consider it.
Now, how did you like the presentation of the bubbles?
I liked it. Particularly the axe struck me as the most fun and accurate. I was a little disappointed in the cards.
Yep. I got thoughts on the cards. So we see it in Matt's point of view in the books.
Yeah.
The High Lords or the Sons of the High Lords all say they never saw the cards move. Don't know what Matt's talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at some,
but
at
they
some
did-
point the cards got thrown up, and he was, tossing daggers at him and sticking them in the walls. But Matt saw them as huge, the Queen of Hearts type, Alice in Wonderland thing.
So it's, I mean, the other bubbles were external, Perrin's axe and Rand's mirror stuff. So I think that the cards expanded and attacked Matt, and the Sons of the High Lords were just saying, nothing to see here.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was.
They kind of did that in the show.
Mhm.
Which,
Yeah, but
We get
unfortunately,
the Heroes of the Horn, though,
yeah.
because you can clearly see Otter Hawkwing in the middle top there. You can see Brigida Silverbow to the left. You can see, I can't remember her name, to the far right.
Amaransu.
Yeah.
But
We get the Heroes of
somebody
the
had
Horn.
and somebody had said the backside of the cards has the horn itself.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I didn't notice that either. I missed that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
someone had done a zoom. Oh, I think it was Lauren.
all right.
Interesting.
Oh, Unraveling. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And another thing that, so Morgan from Podcast of the Dragon, who I recommend to anybody who's got any interest in the Wheel of Time, she notes that we never get to see Egwene deal with the trauma of being captured as a Damane in the next couple of books. And the show is actually showing us the trauma that Egwene is suffering from.
Yeah.
And I just figure that the show actually listens to Morgan on Podcast of the Dragon and decided to actually represent that.
That's not as crazy as you think it is. We do know
Yeah.
that Rafe and some of the actors do watch a lot of Wheel of Time content online. So that's
Yeah.
not beyond the realm.
Yeah.
No one, like, explaining the end of the Eye of the World as viewed through the eyes of an oblivious dumbass is possibly one of the greatest Wheel of Time statements of all time, and that's Morgan's. I love it. So I thought that was really well done. I like how difficult Egwene is finding it with Rand and all of that. I think that's being done really sensitively and appropriately. So kudos to the
Back to the cards, if I may.
Yeah.
I like the cards. I didn't
I liked
like,
them.
I didn't
I didn't
like
like
the fact
They
that
didn't fight.
it's not a bubble of evil. I think they're simplifying the show. It's not bubbles of evil. We don't have that anymore. It's Lanfear doing that to them. It's
See,
admitted. It's not even up for debate. She's like, yeah, I did that. Except for the one thing that happened with
the Grey Man.
yes, that was attributed to Oh my God. Well, I'm thinking Morrigan.
Morgedian.
The Morrigan. I'm thinking crows.
Foggy.
I'm thinking Norse mythology. I'm not getting it. Thank you. Yes. So they're getting rid of, which I like. I like the fact that it's bubbles of evil. There's not really bubbles of evil in the show. It's just what the Forsaken, which I like that. It's like, okay, why add that element? We can just cut that and they'll now be Forsaken trying to hurt them, no longer bubbles of evil, which I think is
Oh,
cool.
no.
It's a choice.
We need Interstap.
Well, you can still do that.
You can
That's
still do that.
not an issue.
That's not a bubbles of evil. That's a whole other thing.
Big bubbles.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of different.
Well, you can still do bubbles of evil later. It's just maybe Lanfear can direct the bubbles of evil, and that's how she was able to do all this at once.
Yeah.
That's what I'm choosing to make that my headcanon for the show.
I'm like,
that the Forsaken can direct bubbles of evil. That's what I'm going with.
If they want to simplify it, that's fine. Another thing I noticed is there no Barrel Lane, which is fine if they're simplifying Perrin's story. Because in the show,
no, I am not okay with no Barrel Lane.
Well, it's seeming like
okay.
We know what happened with the mirror scene. We know how that all got set up and like who came in and like it was, you know.
Did you hear the bird screech when he shattered the mirrors?
I did not.
No.
There's a bird screech when he shatters the mirrors.
Oh.
It is beautifully done. And I'm like, okay, we know who that is, right?
So
that has to be Barrel Lane.
So
I think
maybe
she will be there.
But
Or
I'm
it
going
was
back to my pairing, the 2-1-2, like the Fail and oh gosh. Well, I think it's kind of I know I should mention her, but Perrin, okay, Perrin and his potential future something there with another person. I think maybe they're just
you can say Fail. It's not a big deal.
Not having that. So I think that may be another simplification issue along with Bubbles of Evil. Being attributed Forsaken. Also, Magidian being the only person that can do Grey Men is also a choice. That's different than the books, right? That wasn't something, but I kind of like that. Because as far as I remember, if they're being like book correct to Magidian, and I think they're still showing that in the show is not as strong as Lanfear and Ravine and Samael. So she needs kind of an edge to keep her something that they're worried about, right? And her being able to make Grey Men gives her that. So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
That.
Well, she's taking Agenor's place as far as that kind of thing goes. Since we don't have them in the I assume we're not going to have him in the show.
Well, we don't need him. He dies right off the bat.
Yeah.
In the first book.
Yeah.
We never see him again.
Zombie. So. Yeah, essentially, he's a husk.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now,
overly killed twice in the books, but I think what they're going to do, and I might be wrong, but Moggy gets the Grey Men, Samuel gets Dark Hounds. Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Fine
with that.
Yeah. So I think Forsaken has someone will get the Drakkar. Like I think each Forsaken will have a particular shadow spawn that they are responsible for.
Hey, I'm on that boat.
Can we just call them? Can we call them Dark Pets?
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey. I'm gonna start my own digital little game where you can get your dark bets.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I like that.
Then we've got explanations for them.
Anyway, as we were saying, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah,
we got Perrin, Loyal, and the Bane and Chiad are under attack from an axe, which
I like that.
Perrin,
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean.
What do you think of the result of that? In that now Loyal has, someone has Water Oath to. It's Water Oath, right? To Loyal?
No, she has Toe.
Toe?
She says, I owe you Toe. You saved my life.
Oh, okay.
Builder. So yeah.
Oh, I thought there was some sort of water, or not a Water Oath, but I thought there was something that was a little more significant than Toe.
Yeah.
Life Debt is what Avienda used with Perrin. So I think it just depends on the Aiel what they call it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she says, I have toe because you saved my life. And then the other one says, I go where she goes. So
Yeah.
Well,
let's go.
the toe could be a life debt.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think it just depends on the Aiel saying.
Right. Okay.
It's kind of what it comes down to.
And I
But, yeah.
love the expression on Loyal's face when he kind of understands what that means too.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
We do get this scene where the axe flies back in and directly impacts Perrin's wedding ring. And I mean, you don't get more symbolic than an axe going through that wedding ring.
Ooh.
Little on the nose, but
I didn't notice that, but that's interesting. Okay, I like that.
It splits his ring in half.
What?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
why
there's
it's
a follow-up.
broken when he later it's shown. I can't say in this episode, but okay, that makes sense why it was broken. Okay, now I understand. Okay.
Yeah, they actually show it after he gets hit. There's the
Yes, it
follow-up
does.
scene where it falls on the floor in two pieces.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why I missed that. Okay. All right.
You're probably squeeing over the whole thing that was going on at the time.
Yeah.
Where's
there is that.
Fairlane?
And he puts the ring around the tree in the memorial
Yes,
grove.
that's next week though. That's next
Yeah.
week.
Yep.
But yes, I didn't want to mention it too much. I'm sorry. That's on me.
Okay, well, after the bubbles of evil, if we're done with them, we have the next morning. Perrin, Loyal, Bane, and Chiad go to take off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Egwene, Moraine, and Lan they're going to stay behind in Tarvalon until they're ready to leave. And then it ends with Muggy doing her voodoo that she do so well on
Before we get to Moggy, I got to point out the best
Jason
thing ever.
What did she call him? Oh,
Oh, yeah,
You ever notice
yeah, the White Tower. Yeah,
that is straight up classic Matt, and
That
Donald
is.
Finn is feasting on Matt, and I am
Yeah.
so happy.
Yep.
I can't wait till he sees the rest of the island. If he gets an overhead view, if he has a comment
gets
about
a
what
map.
that looks like.
Okay, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mitch. I just had to throw that in there. Sorry.
Oh, I can just see Matt flying a drone overhead to see what the whole island looks like.
yeah, I can see that.
That'd be great.
Oh, God. So at the very end, we have Moghedien. We still have another episode to cover.
Yeah.
At the very end, we have Moghedien torturing, what does she call him? Jicene?
Daichim, Carradine.
Jim.
Gaichim.
Daichim.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, say it differently.
He's in the books as a white cloak dark friend.
He is.
Yeah. So first of all, is Leia Costa the creepiest, or playing the creepiest character perfectly, or not?
Yes. Evil Bjork is scary, but also kind of hot. I have it on my wallpaper right there. I'm just
Sorry,
saying.
she looks like Bjork.
She's
Yeah.
terrifying and awesome.
I refer to her as Forsaken Bjork.
Mm-hmm.
That works too.
Yep.
And she does the old there's 5 lights routine on Jaichine till he finally says yes, there are 5 lights, and then she hits him with this absolutely beautiful taser effect. I thought was fantastic.
I liked it too.
Yeah, it is cool. But yeah, the way she has them strung up in these sort of webs of power, and just it's creepy. It is very, very creepy in the best way possible.
Oh yeah. I do not think they have missed with her yet.
No.
I agree.
They have not missed with her yet.
No.
I agree.
And there's more to go. Do we want to step into season 2?
Yeah, episode 2.
Episode 2? Sure.
Two.
Yeah. We can give our ratings for each individual episode when we're done. But yeah, we can just run through it because we're going to have to speed run this one.
Yeah. We spent an hour and 20 on the last.
I know.
We did
Could be
talk
until midnight
about this
if we keep
episode,
going.
though. We have covered some of it.
We've touched bits of episode 2, but I mean that cold
Yeah.
open.
Yeah,
I mean-
Morrissey Morrissey. That's how I used to say it when I first started reading the books,
That makes
30
sense.
years ago. Morgaze is taking the throne. Any little tidbits there that are of interest?
You don't want me to talk.
Well, I mean, we do get a light.
Oh, yes,
so
we do.
I am extremely happy to see Shoray here.
Yes, me
Fills
too.
my heart with joy.
Me
And
too.
like I said, she is on my hall pass list. The only person her age on my hall pass list, but she's on it. And my
Yeah.
wife even said, "I don't care. Go ahead, add her."
Now, what do you think? Well, first of all, what do you think of her haircut as opposed to what we see later?
Interesting.
Well, I mean,
Shows passage of time. I like that.
Yeah,
That's
this is
really
very 1970s. Aquanet is what she's got going on right now in this picture. I'm sorry, I'm showing my age, aren't I?
I
You know
like
what
it.
I mean.
All right, Jen, have at it.
All right, you guys. Are you guys? Just let me talk.
Yep, we are.
Hated
This
it.
floor is yours, Jen.
Hated it.
You
Hated
told us
it.
this was coming.
Hated it. Hated it. Hated it. Hated it. Okay, here's my structured response. I think here's what is in my brain anyway. Rafe said, "Let me have the beginning of season 3. I want to take the first episode and do what I want, and I want to do what the people that love the books want. And we want this huge battle, and they had all that for episode 1. And the people that worked at Amazon said, okay, we'll have the beginning of our cold open for episode 2. There is a dramatic shift. And let me just say, I think it's somebody wanting it to be the Game of Thrones tie so bad. All I see is a board executive going, we're gonna have everything here. We're gonna have a queen, we're gonna have a coronation, and she's gonna be kind of like, and there's gonna show her family, like show family is everything, just like we do in Game of Thrones. And then we're gonna make a decision, a choice of having a little young girl like Lyanna Mormont from Game of Thrones, right? Because we want a sassy little girl like Lyanna Mormont, age-ish, bending the knee. They even say bending the knee, just like they do in Game of Thrones, to bend the knee to Morgase, the female queen, like they have in Game of Thrones. And then with their banners behind the houses, just like they do in the show of Game of Thrones, and then having their family members cut their throats. First of all, I guess everyone was cool about that for 20 years. Nobody tried. There was no strife in Andor for 20 years. Nobody tried to avenge their other family members, and everybody was cool with it. Okay, whatever. That's not gonna be. That's a whole other thing. And I just like I love Elida there, but I feel like it was a lot of bored people going, now I want to have it because we want to be Game of Thrones. So let's have a bend the knee. Let's have a coronation. Okay, cool. You have a female queen? Like, we know a female queen. Let's have like a Lyanna Mormont character there. Yeah, let's do that. And they did it like a red wedding kind of thing where, oh my God, it's a surprise. We're going to kill all the people there that are supposed to be brought together because they're all forgiven. Just like at the red wedding, they all came to be forgiven and families supposed to be brought together. Uh-oh, we're going to kill them all. I saw too many red wedding, too many Amazon board exec parallels, so much, even the bending the knee. I'm like, okay, this is clearly what a board exec and Amazon wanted for this, because they gave Rafe and the show people the first episode. This was what they had to give for the second. I love Morgase. There is no book precedent for killing the other family members there. Like,
Yes.
that didn't happen. It was completely, we want to be the red wedding surprise so bad, but we're only going to have a few minutes to do it. Also, I don't think the acting was as well acted as everything else. However, the lady that did played Morgase absolutely crushed it in the episode, in the rest of the episode. So it's nothing against her. Obviously, Elida is stellar. Shore is. So everything about it was we want to be Game of Thrones so bad, and then it actually then got to the actual story of the Wheel of Time. That's what I think the cold open is, in my opinion. That's all I've seen.
Very good.
Okay.
I'm going to step away for a moment. I'll be back.
Me too. I got to pee, actually. Hold on. You guys go ahead. Hold on. I got to pee really bad, but I have an issue with my phone. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Go ahead. You guys talk.
Bio break. I was okay with it. Does it happen that way in the books? We don't really know. They don't go too much into the details of the Succession War. That
There
particular
were
Succession.
assassinations in
Yeah.
Morgase's Rise.
Yes.
So in that sense, it doesn't seem too out of hand. It was a bit Game of Thronesy. I'm not going to say it wasn't. Like, I immediately thought of it, although there wasn't, it wasn't out of control. I don't think they've ramped up the sex and the gore to Game of Thrones level in any way. Given that Moraine cut Lanthimos' throat last season.
And stabbed her through the heart.
Yeah. No, that too.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's not that out of the show. Now, I think they've done it because in later seasons, Elaine will do something like it to fix the problem of what to do with the people that opposed her. And it will show how much better of a queen Elaine is than what even Morgase was.
I think DK Moon has a really good point.
Sorry?
Elida is there for her foretelling, as DK was saying, and that they feel she pushed the killing to protect Andor's heirs for her own purpose because of the foretelling.
That's possible.
So with that, if they go that route and we do find out that she's the one that sort of talked Morgase into doing this, that would go a long way into showing, how selfish and power hungry Elida is, which she is.
She is.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I think that could work.
Like spoilers for books later on, I'm not going to get into, but I can see why they did that because of what I think might be coming in later seasons.
I know exactly what you mean with the gifting of lands and as opposed to wiping people out type stuff later on. Yeah, it shows a contrast between mother and daughter.
And this way, her opponents are gone, but the houses remain. Now, for a generation, they'll be ruled by a man, but then their daughter will end up high seat. So it's not the end of the House Arwen or whatever. Yeah.
Did anybody else get Queen of Hearts vibes from this outfit?
I was literally just about to say, this looks so much like Queen of Hearts to me. Oh my god, yes. I love it. I love it, though. It makes sense with Andor's theme and colors. It makes total sense. I'm like, okay, this makes...
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay, I can go with this. However, I will say whoever did the casting did a great job as the actress. I saw who she was. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Her name slips my tongue, but she is just like they described in the books to me, like a little bit older, but still pretty, still commanding. That all makes sense to me and everything I saw about Morgase. So that was great.
I'm amazed at how much she looks like her and Elaine look alike when they're together.
They do a great job.
They really look like they are related, and it's eerie sometimes how well they have cast this. So,
they did well.
You look at them together and you're like, whoa. They look extremely familiar, like they could be family. And great casting is all I can say.
They did good with Gawain and Galad too. There is a separation there. They don't have the same hair color as the two of them do. The strawberry blonde isn't just so much, it's more blonde. But at first I was like, when I saw the casting photos, I was like, I don't know. But it turned out that the boys we love to hate did such a fantastic job in the entire Camelin. I was a little bit sad because one of the things I was excited about for this season is they say, oh, we're going to be in Camelin. I'm like, yay, we're going to see Camelin. Meanwhile, so far we've only seen the inside of the castle, so hopefully we'll get to see more of the actual city.
Yeah, there is that.
but I think that's coming, so it's cool. It's all good. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh yes, Galvin and Glad were actually really good choices too, and I love the costuming, like the lion everywhere, and it's so like repugnantly verbose everywhere. But I love that it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be pomp and ceremony and over the top. But I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, for all of our novices out there, this is for you. I feel dirty even doing this. You're welcome.
Now, what did you think of him doing his little kiss while he's got, God's hand in his mouth?
So smarmy. So smarmy. Hated it.
You love to hate
I
him.
loved it. I hated it. But I hated it.
Yeah. And there's a difference there between how they fight and waters fight and how land fights and everything. They set the tone of, you can fight and you can train, but you can do it in different ways. And I love that it shows the two of them are just using it for, how did Swan say it? I think I'm going to use Swan's phrase from now on, social capital. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that from here going forward. And it's their way. She couldn't say the word clout because clout would kind of take you out of it. Social capital is just another way of saying that, and it's perfect for the time. Whoever did the translation there did a really good job of saying clout in that way.
Well, and they were showing off. That's all they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having fun. You can tell neither one is really trying to hurt the other.
Mm-hmm.
But when they first show up at the tower, I mean, how petty are both the Amerlin Seat and Queen Morgaze to each other?
So
making her wait outside. Leanne looks over. Should I let her in? Nah, not yet. Let her wait a little while.
That was great.
It's so petty, dude. It's so
Just a
freaking
little
petty.
more.
I love
Not
that.
even a minute longer. Just a little bit longer.
Oh, God.
Good
Well,
point.
I've heard that Vladimir Putin will actually make people wait for an hour.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yep.
It's a power play, definitely. I think so. I enjoy how they did that very much, and there's a lot of physical comedy there, but the way they're shaking their head and the way Morgaze is looking around at like all frustrated. And let's talk about Lord Gabriel, shall we? The
Yes.
elephant in the room. He's like, okay, so I did this poll. I forgot who did it, but it was a poll online. It was like, who's your favorite Forsaken? They've shown thus far, and everyone was saying McGideon, but I was like, Robin, Gabriel. He's my favorite because you want to like him so much, and it's so much more. It's so she's evil when Maggie appears on the screen. You're going to be scared. It's going to be evil, but you don't know like what he's gonna do. Like he's gonna maybe do something evil, maybe not. And he's so likable, you know what I mean? But he's horrifically evil. I love that about him.
He
does have great stepdad vibes.
Yeah,
yes.
he presents so nicely. Yeah.
Yes, it's very relatable to a real and present almost danger that you would feel in real life when people are smiling at you, and seems like there's a more tangible, different kind of fear there, which I really love and pick up on. Chris and I had talked about before.
You don't think he's going to punch you in the head if you turn away from him?
Right. Chris and I were like, why did Ravine choose to like the Andor? He's like, it's the one place of all the different kingdoms he could try to rule incognito. Why choose the one that's only ruled by women? That's going to be weird. Like, why would you go there? I'm like, I don't know. That's what he.
Because what you can hide there.
No.
He's like, he's gonna have.
He's gonna
stand out if he's trying to be like. But anyway,
he really is hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Well,
yeah, I think that was his whole point, was that by going there, he could be the guy behind the scenes pulling the strings, the puppet master of everything. So
for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any designs on being the face of Andor. He doesn't want that.
No.
at least at the moment.
So
At the moment.
It would not be accepted because Andor historically has been ruled by a queen. So
Right.
I think just the populace would not accept that unless
Exactly.
he can compel the entire population, which I think would be a task.
You need to go to the Choding Call. No, I'm playing. That's
Yeah.
not.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So-
can we mention this show and their ear gear? Every bit of ear jewelry they have on the show is amazing.
I love it.
I don't understand it. I
Neither
want
do
it.
I.
I don't know where to find it, but
Oh,
every
wow.
bit
I know.
of ear gear is amazing.
From
I was-
Nynaeve to Alana to even Liane's, she's got sharp spikes through hers. Everyone has a different piece, and I have like all my ears are like done, so like I'm huge into ear stuff, and I was like, this is one of the first things I noticed from like episode 1, season 1. I may have talked about it before. I'm like, and their jewelry, even in the Two Rivers, they've got it on their ears. I think I remember talking about it. I love it. I agree so hard. Even when he takes off the earpiece and stuff, I'm like, ooh, is that some sort of like, I don't know, his own headpiece, like a male version headpiece of what another Aes Sedai has later, like of a different kind of, maybe he's got that mystically imbued somehow, maybe.
Mhm.
But either
Yeah.
way, I don't know, but it would be cool. Anyway, yes, I love
Improves
it.
his range of compulsion. Is that what you're saying?
I
Little
don't know.
antenna?
Maybe it's
I like
Could
that.
be.
potential's
I like
there. But I really love it.
obviously, in the books, it's while Morghese is in Tar Valon that Gabriel comes to prominence.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's when you. Well, I thought didn't it happen earlier where you had the red and the white ribbons and when
Mhm.
Rand
Yeah.
and Matt
Are you a
first
good
went into-
Queens man? Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
when,
Yeah,
that's
was
when he
that-
first showed
was-
up, I think.
Was that when Gabriel showed up, or did Gabriel show up after that?
I think he showed up during that, but he wasn't a prominent figure
Okay.
in society at all. But
yeah,
that's when he
wasn't
showed
the
up.
one that started that. That didn't
Oh,
start.
no. He just showed up then. Yeah.
Did
Well,
it?
start?
actually, I think Ben may have a point. He could have started it in order to have been part of the solution. I mean, the best way to solve a problem
Actually,
is to
yeah.
start it, create the problem yourself, right?
Oh. Oh. It's possible.
I mean, yeah.
But
Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's a good point, Ben. If he did start it, he could solve it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then he gets in her good graces right off the bat.
well, that's how he did it. That's how he got in her good graces.
Okay, so the next scene is Elaine is reunited with her brothers and then Lord Gabriel.
Oh, lovely. More of the Ponces.
Okay, I thought personally, I thought the relationship between Galad and Elaine is exactly what was written, and between Gowan and Elaine is exactly what was written. I thought the two brothers were written to be exactly the way they're supposed to be according to book lore.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can't stand them just like the books. So I got to say, good job.
No, but Elaine is warm and open with Gawain and reserved with Galad.
Yep.
That's how it is in the books, especially at this stage.
Mhm.
So, yeah, no, the princes have turned up and they're acting like princes.
Mm-hmm. And Galad, the guy playing Galad, I think is doing a grand job of, and obviously they told him, what the character's like, of being proper.
Yeah.
If Galad is nothing other than doing the right thing, he's at least proper about doing it.
Oh yes.
Although he sometimes thinks that Matt's causing a problem.
Oh, man, they just kept jumping into Matt's business, and you could see Matt was getting just a little bit madder each time. The first time he's like, good for you. What would we do without you?
I think it only happened the one time here in this particular episode.
Oh yes.
You're right.
Correct.
You're right.
Right.
It does happen in a later episode. Good point.
My apologies. Yes.
So that one we will stick to is the first one.
If there's nothing, well, actually, there is a little something. The little trip that Elaine had when she and Gabriel first talked and such, or actually, I think maybe when she first walked into the room and she didn't know his name. And,
She paused.
She
yeah,
did.
Very much like Liane did.
Yeah. And see, my wife was watching and she's like, did she do that just to slight him? I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And inside I'm going, no, she did not. But I couldn't tell her because that would ruin it. So
Okay. So after their conversation, which actually I thought was really interesting in that, they're sitting down, they're having a drink like they have so many times before. And I just thought, this guy is good.
Isn't he?
He is, man.
But
I like
only
the guy,
realized,
and I know who he is.
Yeah, I only realized how good he is when we find out later he'd only been in town for a month.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that when I saw this the first time. So I thought, oh, okay. So it's smooth operator.
We also got Matt's healing, which was cool. I love the way it looked. I was a little upset. I kind of wanted his memories to pop out so we could get him in the old tongue talking about I'm no Aes Sedai meat. I kind of wished for that. It didn't quite
that
happen.
was a great line too. Yeah.
That didn't quite happen. So, I wanted it to. I really did.
There's still hope.
I mean, it was still really cool looking. It was a great scene. It's just I was a little disappointed we didn't get it quite the way I want.
Yeah.
And there was
you can't always get what you want.
blade, so I'm assuming somehow a tall, dark baddie got his hands on it. Actually, he needs to have his hands on it. So, it got left behind and forgotten.
Yeah, they dropped the dagger but picked up Rima.
Yeah. Here's my question: Did they? Did they though? Is Rima actually Rima? Because we got no explanation on how she got there, how she was freed. We got nothing. So is it Rima? Or could it be somebody else?
Well, I'd assume so because that's why Nynaeve took her to her because she came back on the boat with them. I'd assume.
Was that said that she was on the boat with them?
No, it wasn't.
He's talking book. Yeah.
Well,
no. In the book, she's Pura or Pura.
Yeah.
She never escapes in the books.
Mm-hmm.
But in the show, if she was rescued at the same time,
right,
she would have come with Moraine Sedai on the boat back to the tower. Nynaeve would know her from their time before and on the boat and would trust her to look at that.
Right.
Okay.
But if you think she's Forsaken, we can start Forsaken Watch and put counter number 1 up.
At this point, I think everybody is a Forsaken. Everybody in the tower is a Forsaken at this point.
Well, Forsaken or a Dark Friend. I mean,
one or the other.
Yeah.
So they're either working for one or they are one.
So
that's exactly how I want you to think.
Yeah. I mean, could Rima now, or could she have been a Dark One? I mean, she was trying to protect herself from the Shanchen, not from, not from the good guys necessarily, or someone who wanted her gone because she was a Dark Friend. So it would make sense that she would try to protect herself. But I can't see her being a Dark Friend. I
can't either. I could see her being dead and a Forsaken taking her place. I can absolutely see that.
Oh,
Yeah,
We don't
That's
have
it.
enough
I'm just saying
Forsaken
it's
for
possible.
that.
stretch too far for me, but I'll see the possibility.
Yeah.
It's
There
certainly
you go.
possible.
It's a reach. It's a huge reach.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We have Elaine is Morghese and Elida briefly confer about what Swan may be hiding.
Love it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think it lasted, what, 30, 45 seconds, but
Yeah, it was quick.
we got the impression that we have, two people who certainly aren't stupid,
No.
and they know intrigue, and I think Elida is filling Morghese in on there's a lot more going on here than we even suspected. Because did you notice how Elida had noted the damage to columns when she walked into the
Mhm.
Yeah, she saw the crack
into the
columns.
hall? Yeah.
So Swan told Morghese about the Black Arger. That was said.
She said that. Hold on, what was exactly her words? Oh,
Friends
let's
in the
continue
tower.
on.
Might have been Dark Friends in the Tower.
Yes.
Might
But
have said
I don't
that.
know if it was specifically said that there are Black Aja. I don't think she
Yeah.
actually uses those words.
She
She says the tower is susceptible to the tides that are sweeping us all towards the darkness at this point.
No.
Is
when Elida is talking to Morghese says she about Dark Friends in the Tower because she knows that Elida is going to find that out anyway.
Elida tells her, actually, Elida tells Morghese that there were dark friends right here in the tower under their nose.
I'm gonna take this.
And she
Yeah.
says, and Morghese says,
Yeah.
the one
I'm not-
said that as much. Like,
Okay.
the
Yeah,
one
she
didn't
hinted
take
as
everything
much.
from
She
her.
just didn't state Black Aja.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I say, Dark Friends in the
Mhm.
Tower.
Yeah, dark friends.
So
Yeah, she would go with the lesser of the evils that happened.
Sorry, I'm just moving my phone.
She doesn't want to admit there's a Black Aja.
Right.
Nobody does at this
No.
point. So.
Okay. Moving on, we have a meeting between Min, Swan, Leone, and Varen.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, Min warns that she sees visions of battle in the
Hold
White Tower.
Stop my camera
Yeah.
for a second. Continue. I'm listening.
This, and obviously she's asked, oh yes, we just had the battle. And she basically says what is in the book. In fact, I think it's almost verbatim.
Almost,
it's in the future, and it could be tomorrow, it could be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
But she sees
Mhm.
death. Yeah.
I'm still a little upset with Min's character development. It's been
Yeah.
extremely slow and
Mm-hmm.
glacial on the show, and she's one of my favorite characters in the books.
Yeah.
She develops much faster, but I'm hoping we're getting that now.
Until she leaves the tower with Swan, she's put in a silly dress and plays Emeralda in the books.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
this time
doesn't-
she's wearing a tuxedo outfit and going by Min, but
I
same
like
difference.
that.
And looking pretty sharp, by the way.
I like it. Yeah.
I'm okay
Now,
with
one
the
thing
black and
about
white.
her, though, the character, we know what is supposed to be, and
I think that's my problem.
how it developed, but it has not developed. So I don't know how they're going to
Right.
get her from where she is to where she needs to be, if that's the story that they're going to pursue.
That's my frustration as well. So, and I think it's the burden of my book brain trying to insert. I try and turn it off when I watch the show and just go,
this,
okay, this is my Wheel of Time show watching brain.
At this stage in the books, Min is exactly where she is right now in the tower, being used by Swan, who doesn't understand her talent.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
but her
nothing's
character
changed
is
there.
not. Her
Nothing's
character is not where
changed
that
there.
other character is. That's
Now
our point.
the difference is she doesn't have makeup and a dress on. Instead, she's dressed in a funky kind of
I like it.
style, which goes with Min's fashion creating thing in later books, book 6,
Right.
etc. So I think, and whether her character has been developed enough is a different question. I just
Mhm.
point out
Yeah, that's the
that
one
in
we're
the
asking.
book, she is exactly where she is in the show.
She's in the right spot, but her character is not the same because
So I'm just pointing out that she's in the right spot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Physically,
right
she's in
location,
the right place.
absolutely, she is. She is in the right
Yeah.
location
So
doing
as
what
an
she's supposed to be doing.
adaptation,
Yes.
they've got it back to where it needed to be.
Not character-wise, though.
No, but
That's my problem.
obviously
That's what I'm
not.
talking about.
They can't redo the previous season.
I know
Right.
that, and I'm
saying
trying to be
they
patient.
have
It's hard.
her where she needs to be to move forward
Mm-hmm.
unencumbered. So
Okay.
that's about how she's got there. She was never in Faldara, like
Well, she never betrayed Matt to the Forsaken either. So,
like
I said, it's her character I'm talking about, not her location. I get where she is. I understand.
But the purpose of
moving on.
that was to show how troubled she was by her visions.
I understand. I understand the reasons for the choices.
Okay,
I'm just not
so-
liking them. That's what I'm saying. Her character in particular, I'm not okay with the development. I feel like she should be further ahead.
I think the actor that's playing her is doing a
I
great
think
job.
she's great. She's doing great.
I
with
know.
what
I'm
she's
just
got.
I'm moving on to another. I'm trying to.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Move on.
We are taking course corrections this season with Matt and Min, so those are things I'm keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, and following that particular sequence, we have Swan getting the horn from Matt.
oh, that was hilarious.
How did you like that bit of manipulation?
Oh,
that was great.
So good.
So,
So good.
We did get the story of her uncle.
Yes.
Yes.
We did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who on?
Just another nod to the
Yeah.
book and everything like that.
Oh, that's straight out of the book. So yeah.
Yeah. Rafe said he was excited. He even said himself that I wanted that in there, and he fought for that, which was great.
And that's a great choice because it really played well, I think, into Matt's character. You get a better idea.
Oh yeah, yeah.
His face when he realizes she said, "If you live," he's like, "Wait, what?"
The slow dawning as he realizes that yes,
what?
he has been getting portraits of himself painted, and he has been letting novices handle his horn.
That was great. That was a really well acted, well done scene between the two of them.
Oh yeah.
Sophie,
nobody who was in this kind of situation would do something like this.
No.
Or like that. Or the
I
other thing,
would
all three of
never.
what you did.
Sophie, like the
Beautiful.
character, Sophie Okinawa, who's playing Suon, is nailing it with her mannerisms and with her. She was almost motherly with Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually kind of took me back to the first time that she talked to Elaine and Nynaeve when they were first introduced to her.
Yes.
And, Elaine is, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And Nynaeve is, well, the heck with you. But the way she talked to them and, she'd look down and away and then back and all those mannerisms, she brought it to life here as well. And my goodness, it was great.
I mean, yeah, we all would. In a perfect world, we have 100 episodes per season, and each episode is 2 hours long. I would love that. I would love that. We're never going to get that. I wish to God we could.
Well, George Soros has some money. Let's talk to him.
Be grateful for little things.
Yeah, that's kind of where we are.
And we got Matt giving up the horn to the tower. That's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, I mean, he's not going to chase the girls to tear now because they're not going to tear.
No.
Like, it's all like Matt's getting back on track. Matt's in the tower in book 3. Like, they're getting things back together with both Matt and Min, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And with things taken from the book about Min's vision and this thing with Swan and Matt.
Yeah.
So I really like that from an adaptation point of view, and also just from television. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And to close out this sequence in the tower, we have Elaine drinking with Gabriel. Oh, okay. This is what I referred to earlier. It happens now.
Mhm.
She tells her mom, "I'm staying," and then Morghese leaves and leaves the boys and Elida behind. So that closes out the White Tower storyline. What you guys think of those?
Honestly, I love the bit with Morghese and Elaine sort of having this argument on her going home. And I love Elaine's strong reasoning and her ability to turn her mother's mind.
Yeah.
It shows potential.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had 2 discussions about it. And in one, she was saying, like, Mum, please, I want to stay. And that got nowhere. And then she came back with cogent, intelligent,
Yes.
articulate reasons. And her mum just said, and she said, well, you were my teacher.
Mhm.
A lovely little, and then Morghese left Elaine there. And I don't know.
Well, I think it wasn't her idea, if you get my meaning. It was not her idea. That's why she caved.
I was thinking something similar.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking something similar.
Yeah.
Well, I think a little bit of brown nosing at the end probably helped too.
Mhm.
I learned from the best. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I learned from the best. It was great. But yeah, I love them two together. I think it was a great scene work between them two. And like I said, they look so much alike, and they even sounded a little bit alike in the way they talk. So it was well written and well acted. I really love that sequence, and it felt like it meant something to both of them. So good job.
Yeah, I think they feel comfortable around each other, so that made sense.
Yeah. If you were not a book reader, would the fact that Elida and the brothers staying behind, would that surprise you at all, do you think?
Elida, yes. The brothers, I think they touched on it like very briefly when they were first meeting, like, oh, we're gonna have our water training, blah blah blah. Like, I didn't like know if they would stay or not, but I wouldn't be so much about them. Elida staying, I'd be like, yeah, because there's strife there. So that would have surprised me, I think.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
did
I
they make it clear
decided
that
to-
it was the two of them that decided that, or was it Morghese, or was it Elida that decided that that's what should happen?
In the books, it was Morghese, but of course the books were different.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It wasn't clear anyway, one way or the other then, right?
Okay,
No.
just so we're on the same page. The question you're asking is, it wasn't clear about who made the decision about who would stay. Yeah, is that what you're asking?
Right. Yeah.
Like between whether it was Morghese or Elida. Is that what you're?
Yeah. I mean, was it a mutual decision? I mean, is it a part of a plan, or did Elida basically tell Morghese, look, something's going on here, I really need to stay? Or was it Morghese that may have said, look, there's something going on here, I need you to stay?
When I saw it, I thought it was a mutual thing. I thought it, but I could be wrong. But I thought it was a mutual thing.
I could see Morghese wanting her two older boys to be there with Elaine. I could absolutely see her making that decision. I don't
Yeah.
think Elida at this point probably had too much input. She was too busy politicking.
Yeah.
She was in the red quarters, you know, talking to
yet.
them.
Not yet. Not yet. But.
Okay, she was politicking. We'll leave it there.
All right. Next visit is to the Isle Waste. Basically, we've got Ran and Lan playing swords. There's a rabbit that gets that's no longer quite so wascally. We end up with some dreams, and then Ran telling Moraine that channeling feels oh so good.
That it does.
So that's basically what we get in the Isle, or actually probably the Swine or Kinslayer's dagger or something like that. They're not yet in the Waste.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out the brilliant work in the dream world by Lanfear here, who simultaneously entices Rand while punishing the woman sleeping next to him. With no one knowing what's going on, them both having nightmares, not connecting them together, and so on and so forth. And the jump away, I just thought this was really well done.
Am I the only one that feels like they're slow in that I didn't understand that Egwene's bruises were from something more significant than Rand snoring really loud?
I didn't either. I didn't pick up on it until it was put in my face, and I'm like, I didn't get it. I didn't get it either.
It hasn't been said in the show yet, but things that happen in the dream can manifest in the waking
In real
life.
life, right?
Yeah,
So-
only things that touch Teleron Riyadh, though, not your normal average dream. So,
and Egwene says something pertinent, which is that she just wishes Renna would stay dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, it's not Renna. But Morgan doesn't know that.
Yeah. I also like
Right.
how she reaffirms her. If she was still here, I'd kill her again. Like I think that's important.
Oh,
saying
yeah.
that she doesn't because I think it was an important line. It wasn't a throwaway line because I think they wanted to make sure, because some people, if they regret something, can have nightmares of I shouldn't have done this, blah blah blah. They were drawing a distinction between, no, it's not the fact that I regret that I killed Renna. It's because I want her to stay dead and she should just leave me alone because I'm actually at peace with what happened. This
Right.
it's not regret. So that's important because some people who haven't read the books may take that as, oh, she's just having flashbacks of things that she wished she did, or it was just difficult for her to get over, like because she's having PTSD for normal reasons. And she was like, no, I'm cool with my decision. This is something else. So that's very important to make that distinction.
Yeah.
I want to jump in. I want to jump in briefly. I had mentioned the bruises and the explanation. That's next episode.
Yeah, I do like the way that Moraine initially approaches her and asks, "Is that him?"
Yeah.
She wants to know, not only out of concern for Egwene, which she does show, it is concern for Egwene, but also to keep an eye on Rand's sort of sanity level. If he's hurting his friends already, we're in deep shit.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
you know, I love that little moment where she walks up and says, "Is it him?" And she's like, no, it's nothing like that. So I love that little moment. Just want to throw that out there.
I agree.
Now, how do you like the fact that Avi can run faster than a rabbit?
Actually, that tracks. They're faster than
tracks.
horses in the books.
I like that.
So rabbit ain't got a chance.
I was just waiting for Avi to throw the rabbit over to Moraine, who would throw it over to Egwene and say, "You clean it."
Oh, yeah,
she
like
wouldn't
the
do
books?
it. No way she'd do it.
No way Maureen won't. Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't touch that.
going back to Perrin or the tickling of the fish.
Yeah, the tickling
Yes.
of the fish with Loyal's like, damn it,
Yeah.
how does she do
I know.
that?
If
Yeah.
you catch a fish, you don't gut them. That's what the other person's there for.
Yeah.
I know they're not actually faster than horses. I was talking about they claim they can run faster than horses. But yeah, I know they're not actually. But yes, I think Loyal is faster than a horse.
It's funny. Loyal, I think it was season 1, actually specifies that they're very slow. So I didn't care for that. When I heard it, it's like, no, that's not book. And I think it was in season 1.
Yeah, I think it was when they were going through the ways.
Don't be hasty.
Well, no, it wasn't the hasty. It was actually I cannot physically move real fast. And I thought that was bad.
Yeah, I think it's when he's like, we have to slow down. I have to ask your patience. And Rand was like, oh, God, if we have to slow more and you guys asking patience, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
Because he was going so slow. So, yeah.
Now, in part of this bit in the, let's call it Spine of the World, Moraine talks with Rand about why he's training with Lan. And instead of using the one power, and Rand explains what's going on there. What did you think of his explanation?
I loved it because for somebody whose life is spiraling out of control, 100%, he does not have a grip on what's going to happen to him. He feels like he has no say in it. When he grabs that sword and he's training with Lan, he has control over that training. It's something he can apply force and control to. And that's why it makes sense to him. It's his zen. I love that. It also, I think eventually they are going to get into the flame and void talk. It's going to come sooner or later, I think. When they do, it's going to fit with that sort of thing of it's the only thing in my life I can control right now. So he's going to fall into it.
Now, the flame and the void, Ben, I'm sure you can probably think of something on this. That should have happened when he was training with Lan, if not when he was talking with Moraine right then. What do you think?
Okay, so the flame of the void comes very early in the books.
Yeah.
Very
It's
early
like
in the
chapter 1, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So considering that this is the first time we've actually seen them with their swords, I think it's got to come. Now, whether it comes before or after he goes to Ruidian, I'm not sure. But before they're out of the waste, Lan will mention it and Rand will say, oh, my dad has a similar trick or something. And they'll have that moment. And that will be the start of Rand getting more control over Sidene.
Okay. Well, we've had the training thing. The book people are satisfied.
Yeah.
Are we going to have another training, or might we get, like in the books, Rand starts to train in the Aiel method of hand-to-hand?
Both. I think we're getting both.
I think that by bringing in the Aiel, we get to revisit Lan and the Void and the sword.
Maybe.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, one is going to lead to the other. He's going to train with Lan with the sword, and then one of the Aiel is going to come over and go, well, you're the Karakarn, you should know how to fight with our weapons, which is going to lead into him doing that. So I think we are going to get both, and I think that talk will happen, but the fact that Rand didn't want to talk during this training session, Lan tried. Lan was like,
yeah,
your mind's not on this. Do you want to talk about it? And he's like, no, I do not. So I think it's going to be a moment where Rand's ready to open up. It's going to be after Ruidian, in my opinion.
I wouldn't imagine he wants to tell Lan that Lanfear is tormenting his dreams.
Okay.
He did tell Moraine, because Moraine mentions it, that Rand told me you've been coming to him every night. since we left Falm. So he did
All
tell
right.
Moraine at some point.
The only other thing that happens at that point in time is at the end of that sequence where a group of Vale appear out of nowhere, seem to run higgly-piggly all over the place. It made no sense to me. And then we go to the Two Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
We get the Waygate bit.
And they fixed the Waygate.
They
ladies
They
fixed
go
and gentlemen.
down.
the
They,
Waygate. Oh,
Fixed
thank you for saying that.
Waygate.
I'm like, they're
Yeah.
showing the leaf, and they're doing it correctly. Okay, great. Yeah.
and then they
We have
pop down
vines,
to
we have doors.
then they pop down to the Two Rivers, and we see the we see the White Cloaks.
That's got to be
We
Glenn.
meet
Yeah, it is
Alana
Glenn.
and Maxim, and Perrin admits that he did indeed kill Jeffrem Bornhold. And
Yeah.
I'm going to step away for a moment.
Yeah.
I think he deserved it. Bornhold, that is. I like the fact that they had Perrin kill him.
Mm.
I think it was a good move.
Well, if you're going to be accused of something, anyway, you may as well, and Bayer accuses them of it. And yeah, anyway. So the Waygate is
Good point, Amanda.
the Waygate was really well done. I like how it was conceptualized, how it was presented. It's much more book. We can assume that that's how Patton Fane opened because he can't channel. So he must, and indeed there is, must have had a leaf. That's how he followed them through the ways in season 1.
Mhm. They show Mash and Shin in there, so we're gonna need that for maybe talk later. The ways are still tainted. There's an Avendosaur leaf now. Loyal comes out talking about the lunging, and he's like suffering from it, which seems to be a little bit more expedited than in the books, even though he does reassure Bane and Chiad. No, it's going to take a long time, which is like the books say, but you actually do get to see him like stuttering there for a second. And I like how they wrote it intentionally. Like, this is intentional setup that I see in the writer's room here, where who is in the scene? It's Loyal, it's Perrin, and it's Bane and Chiad. So you have 2 Aiel, you have Perrin, and you have Loyal. So what brings all those very different people together? It's how they feel about home. So Loyal does this speech about needing to be grounded and centered to your home. And the Aiel can appreciate that as one completely different culture. Perrin can appreciate that because he's literally going back home to the Two Rivers, and he is the only one out of the Emmons Field 5 that actually stays. I can say that, that's okay, because we're already here in the show,
Right.
in the Two Rivers. So Perrin's the most grounded. He's the most earth element out of them, out of a bunch of earth people. And then Loyal is, and the Aiel are. So it's a level of respect. Also, one of my favorite parts of what happens in these past 2 episodes is the cinematography. Going back to the Two Rivers, seeing that same exact stream that you saw Egwene get pushed in the very first episode, returning to it, all the drone shots of just showing everything, them talking about Manetheren there as they returned back to the Two Rivers. I really, really, really like the cinematography there. The fact that that wasn't on a green screen is always appreciated, especially in moments like that. And just the pause of the moment when Perrin walks in and sees the fact that the wine spring is still being rebuilt. And then I will wait till Oliver probably gets back with us, because he's probably going to talk about their entrance into Emmons Field and the White Cloaks and everyone that pops up, and probably Perrin going to his old blacksmith forge, and then hearing what happened on a Beltane in his mind, thinking about who he left. So I'll wait until he gets back, or unless you guys would say something.
Speaking of some beautiful landscape shots, it's stuff like this. You can only get that on location.
Yeah.
It doesn't look the same green screened. They were there.
Yeah.
And it's fucking beautiful, man. I love it.
Yep.
I want to compliment the shots that were used for the Spine of the World too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That when they come over and they see that break and you see the desert
The
below,
desert.
that
Nice.
shot in particular was just amazing.
That's the off and running shot. But by showing Rand and Moraine's journey over the spine, and they show you that, then they come here. There's a real
You can't see my face. It's in the
like
light.
they're different mountains.
There we go.
Like they are noticeably different mountains.
Yeah.
One's arid and dry and one's rich and verdant type thing. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're not all the way wrong given episode 3, but you know, they
What are
are
you
trying to
talking
get loyal. They are trying to get loyal to play Maiden's Kiss, which is just creepy. It's like, what are you doing? So yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay, Oliver, we are at where they have come into the 2 rivers, and I will let you guide us as you've been doing a phenomenal job thus far.
Well,
We've waited for you to talk about the homecoming.
you covered the leaf, I'm sure. Basically, the first thing he sees are some white cloaks riding across, and Mr. Solver sees him and recognizes him, like one of the first people to do so, and scuttles him off to the attic where things happen. Let's see what happens after that. Then there's a lot of talk that goes on after that.
Yeah, they meet Alana and Mascom are actually in
Maxim, yeah.
Yeah,
And
Maxim.
he does end up facing the townspeople. Finally admits he did kill Jeffrem Bornhold.
And rightly so. How dare you touch Hopper, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
resolves to turn him in, and that's where the episode ends.
I
Aaron
am
might
sad
hand himself
about
over.
Mistress Alver. I am sad about Mistress Alver's recasting. I'm not saying that actor does a wonderful job, because they do, but she seems young. I don't buy that she's Egwene's mother. The age difference is so dramatically stark to me that it actually kicked me out of the scene. I was like, this lady's, maybe she's Egwene's mom. I don't know, but I'm like, there was such an age difference between the old actor versus the new actor. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was so stark. I was like, no, because I remember, like, I loved whoever the casting of Mr. Alver was, that first actor. I loved so much. And I'm not saying this actor does a bad job, but I was like, man, I was so bummed out. I actually was so distracted. I couldn't even pay attention what was on screen. I had to rewind because of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, am I going crazy?
Shorter. She is much shorter. Oh, okay. Noman Garden pointed it out too. She is very much shorter.
She looks more like Egwene.
She does. She does. I'll give you that. She does look more like Egwene.
But I believe the other person was unavailable for personal reasons.
Correct. Yeah,
That
from what I
sucks.
understand, they were working on another project. That's the only reason they did the recasting. So
That's fine. I was like, whoa. I was like, everyone noticed that. Everyone noticed that.
thank you, Noman Garden.
Oh, great. Thank you, because I didn't have the previous actress's name here. Perfect.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Appreciate that, Noman Garden. And we appreciate you guys hanging out. I know we ran really, really late. We weren't planning on going this long, but, things happen. We had a couple bubbles of evil technical wise. Plus, this is Wheel of Time and we just want to talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
this is our wheelhouse. Wheel of Time wheelhouse.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten to how we really feel about anything yet.
I know. We're going to have to wait till the season wrap up and bring everybody together in one giant freaking show.
Yeah.
Just everybody air your grievances. It's going to be 10 hours long.
Yeah.
And we're all going to drink a lot and just air our grievances.
Yeah.
So out of 5, I give both episodes 10.
I give
That's
episode 1.
That's a shout out to Beth Damon.
I know, she's 7.
Yeah.
I know.
So and what I think we got payoffs from like the earlier seasons in just these first 2
Yes.
episodes.
I agree with that. Very
I
much.
think
So.
we got course corrections.
Yes. I also agree with that.
And so conversations that happened in Tier happen in the tower, but the conversations still happen.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
those type of things. So I think we've got an intuitive understanding of the water bond and things like that from seeing the Green Sisters nasty Janine. Yeah,
and we,
Jeannie. Yeah.
I thought it was Jeanne or something like that.
Yeah.
I can
could be
fix her.
Jeannie.
Her name is I
Gianne.
Can Fix Her.
Yeah. Yep.
I can fix her. I swear.
She would work
Yes.
on me. I'd be like, oh man, she's my
It's
Lanfear.
Jean.
Yeah.
So you've got all these
Yeah.
things that the non-book reader understands better because of what they showed us, even down to the attitude of the Aiel and those sorts of things.
I will say, speaking of Aiel, there's one thing I hope for. Aiel, oh my God. Pause. Stop. Avienda has been used recently as being the person that fills the reader, or excuse me, in this case, the watcher on the backstory. Oh, this is how the Aiel feel about the Karakarn. Oh, this is how the Aiel feel about this. Oh, the Aiel don't like spears. She's now been relegated to kind of more the person that's filling in the watcher on the Aiel culture. You're not expanding on her her character has been subdued to more of a, I'm the person that explains everything. I'm the person that explains everything. I'm the person that explains everything. I can't wait until later, hopefully on in the show, we get to see who is Avienda outside of just, and I know we're going to have to get to that because of things that have to happen. So I'm ready for that. But right now she just becomes as, right now I'm support character for the watcher who doesn't understand these strange desert people, and also Elaine's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like,
man, if we
I-
Hookup. Hookup.
If
I'd say
you think
hookup,
about it,
not girlfriend.
Within
yeah,
that,
that is what she does
right.
in the book.
That's all she does.
Yeah, that is. I
So-
mean, that is her purpose at this particular point, and we're going to go through probably 3 or 4 full episodes of nothing but that before we finally see the inner Avienda come out, and maybe.
I don't know quite how or why it works, but it works in the books as well as in the show. Avienda, the first things we learn about the Aiel come from Elaine.
Yeah, no regard.
I was just going to show that.
Yeah. Land for your time. Sorry, go ahead.
So
Hold on, my
Elaine
cat's
is
crying.
the
Hold
first
on.
bit of information about Aiel culture, just as in the show, just as in the books. Then you've got
go ahead.
Avienda
Come on.
is the one that speaks to them after they rescue them from the shed with the Myrdril and things in the books. Yeah.
Okay.
And Avienda speaks to them because she's already got a relationship with them.
Well, I thought that
And
was the
then
beginning of the
it's
relationship,
clear-
wasn't it?
No, they
She
ran
didn't
into him
have a river.
earlier when they had a wounded friend.
Friend, yeah.
They ran into him earlier when,
Okay. I was just considering
when their
that
boat
whole
ran aground. Yeah.
that whole sequence.
And
Okay.
then Moraine found her amongst the Aiel in the stone and said, "You're going to be a novice. Come with me." And I
Oh,
was
hard
pretty
agree, Norman
wary
Garden.
of Aes Sedai at that time.
Oh, Noman Garden. Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I want to see that.
So yeah, hopefully, I'd love to hear that line too. But so Avienda,
No, go ahead.
so Avienda is in that role of filling in information about it, even when there's lots of other Aiel around. She's the one nominated to because she's the one that has that initial relationship with Egwene, essentially.
I think nominated is probably a interesting phrase.
Ordered. Yeah.
Yeah,
Before we go too far off, we're going to get back to ratings.
Mm.
Ben, your ratings were what, 10 for both?
Sorry.
Just for Beth Doman?
Yeah, I'd give them both 9.5s. I think they were both really good. I didn't have much problem with pacing. Either time I watched them, I thought each of them had a bit of something and a bit of a thing that made me go, oh, like the end of the first episode and the start of the second were both just, dark.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll say that I liked both episodes. What a surprise!
Jen, what's your rating?
Okay, so you guys know how I felt about the beginning of the cold open of episode 2. There was I agree with you about your pacing, by the way, Bill. I agree with you about your pacing. That 2 is much better paced than 1. I agree with that. That being said, there were just too many things. I guess seeing Mistress Alver, that jump that takes me, it ruins the entire return to Emmons Field, otherwise wonderful to me.
Too bad.
The Waygate was amazing. The cinematography, all that prep beforehand, I was like weeping almost with joy, and then that came up. I'm like, yeah. So that just kind of kicked me. So it kicked me in the front and it kicked me in the back, both ways for episode 2. If it weren't for that, it would be a stronger episode. That being said, I'm going to have to rate the episode 2 because it's so Amazon. All I see the beginning of the episode is, will you please make this Game of Thrones? I see nothing but boardroom. So I'm kicked out of Wheel of Time. So it's the second episode is like a 6 to me. I'm gonna be real. I like other parts of it. So that altogether brings it down to a 6. First episode like 9.5. So
can you do a mental exercise?
Yeah.
Where you don't assume that it's Amazon who decided that.
I want to. I want to, because otherwise I blame Rafe. So right. I don't want to do that.
Well, you can blame. I'm not saying you need to blame anyone.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you take away the animus for Amazon, would it still be 6.5?
It would be worse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, because that means it would be a Rafe decision, and that would be the showrunner. So I'm hoping that it is like that.
People who know better screwed up.
I'm like, it's people that actually love the story are making it to it. Like that would actually be. So you're right, though. You do have a point that I don't know who it is who made the decision.
I don't think that there could be any payoff later in the series.
I just didn't like the acting of it. However, Morghese is great later. Like I even said earlier, she did a fantastic job as Morghese. The rest of the show, it's just that one point.
You actually lower your score, removing Amazon from it. I've got nothing. I've got no That's fine, but I just thought it'd be an interesting exercise to try.
Here's the thing. If I didn't know anything about the books, and I'm actually trying to remove myself from that, if I didn't know anything about the books and someone said, here's a new fantasy show that just came out, it has magic, it has this, it has that, there's a female queen, I would look at that separated from Wheel of Time completely and think, this is somebody just trying to do Game of Thrones. So there's no way where I get like where that's a positive to me, no matter like if I didn't know anything, that's what I would think.
Right. I just happen to completely disagree about your premise. So that's why I'm asking.
No, you're right. I don't know. You're extremely correct in the fact that I don't know who it is that made the decision. So I definitely right there.
But that's what
I'm
you
trying-
picture.
So that's why I ask if you just were to remove Amazon from it. Don't put Rafe
That would
or
make it
anybody in it.
I
Just
still
look at
don't
the
like it.
episode.
The acting to me was bad. I have to acknowledge that Game of Thrones exists because how far back do you go? Do I have to pretend Game of Thrones doesn't exist? Like,
I never watched Game of Thrones. Why would I bother with Google?
so where do I stop the removal? Where do I stop the cut? So I just can't look at
Yeah,
it
you
as a
don't.
piece of media and be like, that's fantastic television because it's all original ideas. I cannot physically do that. Sorry.
Okay.
The 9.5, but I agree with you. You're right. I don't know who made the decision. I was actually kicking it more towards the fact that it wasn't Rafe and it was just bad Amazon people, but you're right. It's unfair. I don't know who did it. I still don't like it no matter whose decision it was. So that's actually very impartial. That's like, okay, I'm hoping it's not Rafe, but if it is, if it isn't, it's still bad. Like, you know what I mean? That's
What
what I'm
about
saying.
you, Mitt? What's your ratings for the 2 episodes?
I don't really know much about the evil corporate people, so I'm just going to go off of what I felt. Once again, I have watched one half of one episode of Game of Thrones, so I do not have a point of comparison that Jen's bringing up. First episode, I give a 36. The second episode, I give a 32 out of 42.
Because that's the answer to everything.
Exactly.
For me, 8.5 for episode 1. Like I said, the pacing was a little bit uneven for me on rewatch. Absolute solid 9 for episode 2. They gave him a chance to breathe, and we got our characters course correcting. Everybody advanced in ways that absolutely make sense for the story they're trying to tell. I think it was well shot. The VFX is looking better than ever. That
Yes.
healing scene with Matt was
I
stunningly
agree.
beautiful.
Agreed.
You know,
With the weaves.
I don't know if they're actually spending more money on VFX or if they have developed the algorithms, and can just spend that little extra money to improve, enhance, and so on. Because, I mean, the money's already been spent to do the fundamental work.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of pointing out where, all these things need to go, in what colors and what shapes, from here to there. So I worked computer graphics a lot way back when. I'm nothing compared to what they're doing now. But
Right.
I can understand what it is they need to be able to accomplish and the fundamental concepts of how the big money has already been spent. How to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Now the money that's being spent is how do we do it this way?
How do we
And-
make it better? Yeah. How do we do this cleaner? How do we do this with more vibrancy? Because
Yeah.
the weaves have gotten
Stand on
brighter.
the shoulders
They're more
of God.
distinctive depending on
Yeah.
the element. All
That's
of it
true.
is just really working well. I think they found their stride this season,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping we get more.
I
That
agree.
little Swan closing the box, for some reason, I love that so much. Even that,
Oh,
I love that too.
The little lock
That is
thing.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is. Was that this season or this episode or next?
Yes, it was. It was
Okay.
episode 2.
I didn't.
I
make a
do
note of
agree
that.
with Jen on the opening of episode 2. The way it was shot, the surprise factor, as if they were going for a Red Wedding type feel, it does feel very derivative. It doesn't serve more gays the way the book does, but I think it does set up further down for Elaine. It doesn't serve Morghese, but it does serve Elaine later, I think. So I can see what they may be trying to do, but yeah, it was a little red wedding-ish.
Okay, I'm going to declare spoilers. Spoiler alert. Do we get the final Morghese story?
No.
Ben, what do you think?
In some form.
Okay. Jen, did you hear the question?
Yeah, sorry, I've my power got low on my phone. I
No, no.
apologize.
Yeah,
No
that's-
worries.
I plugged it in, so we're good now. Final Morghese story. Okay, are we full spoilers? Can I ask to clarify
Well,
something very quickly?
I declared that, but don't go into detail. But
Okay.
what do you think?
Where she waves the flag and saves them all under and then
Well, we never got to that level of detail. Do we simply get that story? Do you think?
No. I think she
And-
dies.
And maybe how
I think
much?
Robin kills her. I think Robin actually kills her.
Oh,
yeah, there's a lot of things that I think they're cutting. I also think they're cutting two on, just personally with how they're doing Matt and Men. Just how they're setting
really?
up. Yeah, I think that too.
Okay. Personally,
Whatever.
I think you're giving the Min Matt thing a little too much
Maybe.
strength.
Yeah, I don't see
I
Min
don't
ever
think
going for
they're
him. The
at
way
all.
she reacted when he had his robe open, that is not somebody who's interested.
It's just maybe we'll see. We'll see. I want to be wrong, by the way. So the answer
when Matt
is no.
was trying to straighten that one hair he has on his chest.
Chest hair.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, chest hair.
Yeah,
I
no,
get it.
I don't. To answer your question, no. I'll keep it no. I don't
Okay.
think we're going to get Berlane. I don't think we're going to get the end of Morghese. I don't think we're going to. I think Sean's being very simplified. That's my personal opinion. Not that I have a
Yeah.
problem with any of it. I'm cool
What
with
about
it.
you, Ben? Do you think we'll get more gays? Full story?
Well, you won't get her full story because you won't be getting some of the stories that they're attached to. However,
I agree.
I do think there's a fair chance that she follows. She ends up in the same place as one of her sons does later on.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And certain events from there might happen. So I'm not saying all of it, but I think I hope that she's hanging around till the end of the season 8. Great.
Okay.
Do you think we get because you've said we can go that far? Do you think we get Savannah and that particular aspect of Morghese and other characters' future?
I hope not.
I don't know. I know we get Savannah. I know for a fact we get Savannah this season.
Yeah, I know we do. I know. I saw her casting.
Okay.
Yeah. So we know she's
we
cast.
Okay, so in Perrin, Slog, yes or no? Do you think
Who?
What do you mean?
Perrin, Slog, the Slog period?
The Slog? Oh, like the
version,
Shido?
a rapidly,
yeah, the Slog, the whole
rapidly told version. Yes, very rapidly.
Okay.
It may be different details, but we'll get something of the aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be one knot per freaking season. Otherwise, I will shoot myself.
But
not
that
literally,
buys
but,
into the Morghese possibilities, right? And you've killed her off already.
I mean, we don't need her for that, do we? You just rescue them another way. You come running in, you beat the crap out of everybody, and then it's a win.
Oh, if we don't get, oh God, what was his name? The guy, Red Cloak assistant or White Cloak assistant, and then was assistant
Balwer?
to Balwer. Yes,
Seven.
I'm
Balwer.
sorry. One of my favorite characters in the stories, and not because it almost rhymes with Ulver.
Yeah, Seven Balwer is.
Yeah, I like him.
He is an awesome character, and I love him. And his interaction with Perrin are peak fucking hilarity because Perrin doesn't understand, and that makes it great. But I think we're going to see a different Perrin than we have book Perrin. he's going to mature much faster. He's going to grow into leadership much faster in the show.
Okay.
So
Oh.
I hope so, because I don't want to wait 5 more seasons for him to get his shit together.
Yeah.
No offense, but I don't want to wait that long. We only got 8 seasons max. Is
Yeah.
what it looks like. So we got to move.
Yep.
Okay, speaking of moving, I've asked a bunch of questions and it's added another 20 minutes to the stream. We're up to like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
People don't like to see that. They're not going to watch it. So
in that case, we want to thank you all for being here. Ben, thank you for being a guest. We'll have you back, as you know. Jen, I will see you in a week or 2. I'm sure we'll be back. Oliver's ears, I will see you soon. I know you'll be back. And thank you all for watching. And don't forget to be awesome. See you.
take care, all.
Well and wake.